say who's on the beat, cause you should know that by now. Check it. Hey yo, music's on my mind. I'm a 59, 50, I ain't lying. Check it. Yo, this ain't a fitted song, this a get with it song.
Yo, what up?
Yo, BTV Sports. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Yo BTV Sports, live from Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Jason and Ugo here. Ugo Boy is here. And we also got Mar Beyond the Glass. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Yo BTV Sports. And we're going to open up the phone lines in a little bit. 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. And yeah, let's get into it. We got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's finally here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
We wait so long for the NFL to come, and then it just like that, just like a fart in the wind, it comes right, it just comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here we are. So, boy, was I wrong. I was wrong because I was under the impression, I wanted to be the conspiracy theorist that because of the Super Bowl colors, we were going to expect the Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl, but unfortunately, well, I don't know it's unfortunately, but, unfortunately I was wrong. I don't like to be wrong. I hate to be wrong. But it comes out to the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers. So I was half right.
Yeah.
I think the majority of everybody, especially the conspiracy theorists, were half right. I know that you chose Baltimore at one point.
Yeah.
Yes. But you know what? Just when we thought that they were done, they pulled us back in. That's how it is with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, we look like clowns right now. Everybody that chose against them.
We keep picking against Patrick Mahomes.
But you know what? Even Vegas looking like clowns because even in the Super Bowl right now, they're underdogs.
Yeah. They just they haven't learned their lesson.
No,
they just haven't, and I've learned mine. So. Yeah. Patty Mahomes, I formally apologize once again. Love you, dog. Glad he plays in the AFC and not the NFC, because I'd be dealing with that more often.
Well, is Patrick Mahomes' real full name? Because I feel like at this point we got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
I know he's Patrick Mahomes the second. Oh, you want to talk about his middle name too?
Oh yeah, Patrick LaVon Mahomes the second. LaVon.
His dad is so hood too. I love Patty Mahomes Sr. He just shows up with cigars like, yeah, man, smoking on that loud pack, you know what I mean? He looks like every guy.
That's really good, man.
He looks like every guy in my old neighborhood back in East Orange, I swear. Every single one. Like, he was chilling by the freaking liquor store with a Heineken and a freaking pack of Newports.
It's almost kind of like how Shannon Sharp, shout out to Shannon Sharp, he created that character with the do-rag and the black and mild.
Uncle Shay.
Uncle Shay, there you go. Yeah. Shout out to Club Shay, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Patrick Mahomes continuing to show us why he is, without a doubt, the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you could say, obviously he's clearly better than Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy is in the Super Bowl.
That's not even worth. Let's not do that.
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
Sure about that?
We're not gonna mention their names.
All right. Well, the point that I'm getting at here is I think that it really solidifies right now that he is the best quarterback in the NFL because we were talking about Josh Allen. Yeah. We were talking about Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. We were talking about Joe Burrow, unfortunately, before he got hurt. We were talking about not Lamar? Matthew Stafford. Lamar. Well, I said Lamar, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But no, the point is that all of that is shut down.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the only one of those elite quarterbacks, the ones that you could actually say with that G word that we so dread so much.
Cue up the music, generational.
But I think honestly, in this case, it certainly applies to one Patrick LaVon Mahomes II.
Gotta say the whole thing.
You say the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dak Prescott, take notes, please.
Yes, please take notes. No, round of applause for Patty. Yeah. Patty Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in the world. Forget the NFL. On the planet.
I can't think.
On the planet.
I don't even want to waste a brain cell of the very few that I still have left, wondering if there's anybody out there in the entire world that is better than Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
I mean, well, you had coming into this season, you had a ton of people. You had some Eagle fans saying Jalen Hurts was in the conversation. Can I get a you sure about that real quick? I think that's.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
Shout out to Joel, man.
Yeah, like I said, he's with Walter White and Jesse Pinkman in New Hampshire. He's got a beard. Always. Like when we see him next season, we're not going to recognize him. You're a savage there. But what I will say is I still feel Burrow is in the conversation.
Oh,
when
absolutely.
healthy.
That's why I preferenced before he got hurt.
Right. I feel like Allen, when he's right, when he's not turning the ball over, is in the conversation. You know, just guys who can. You see Patty make a throw and be like, damn, who else can make that throw? And then it's a short list. It's a short list. And absolutely, Lamar, you would have thought that it's deja vu. I swear, like the freaking movie with Denzel. Like you would think. Great movie too. You would think that now with the 1 seed, with the home field behind you, with an MVP campaign, a second MVP campaign, you would think that Lamar, it was time for him to take that rightful place amongst the best of the best.
Correct.
And once again, he showed a lot of the issues that always plague him come playoff time in these losses. When you take the run game away, and when Buffalo's not really committed to the run, and because you could say that, oh, they didn't run the ball enough. Well, Kansas City kind of took it away.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you got it goes both ways. And he has to be a pure passer. That's not his game. It's never been his game. Has he improved as a passer? You know, I was getting into this with my cousin, a super conspiracist, my cousin Robert Elo.
Cue the music.
Cue the generational music. He's a New York Giant fan, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately and fortunately, because we beat him all the time.
Right.
But he's also a pseudo Raven fan. Like he
one of those.
Yeah, exactly. He loves rooting for the Ravens, but he's a Giant fan. Whatever. But anyway, I got into it with him for years. Like, bro, I'm not saying Lamar isn't nice. I'm not saying he's not one of those hymns.
Oh, yeah. I hate when people do that.
Yeah, it's like an either or. What I am saying is he's not a pure passer. He'll never be a pure passer. That's not his game. And what's going to get him into issues come playoff time, he has to figure out a way, and his OC and John Harbaugh, they've got to figure out a way, come playoff time, we have to have a game plan installed that's ready to go when the run game's not there.
Right.
And you saw it when they were the 1 seed against the Titans a couple years ago.
Right.
They were one and done because the Titans took away the run game. They pounded it with Derrick Henry, who should be a Cowboy in the offseason, hopefully.
Putting that into manifestation.
Just manifesting that now. And it was all, Lamar, you got to beat us. You got to beat us with that arm. And he couldn't do it. Round of applause for Steve Spagnuolo.
Yes.
He put together a masterclass. And if he did that to, I know we're jumping ahead, but if he did that to Lamar and he did that to Josh Allen, you're going to sit up there. You sure about that? You're going to tell me Brock Purdy is going to dice him up for 400 yards in Vegas? Yeah, I'll believe that when I see that.
Right.
But no, Spagnuolo was in his bag. Mahomes rose to the occasion like he always rises to the occasion. I believe in his last 6 playoff games, something stupid, like 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's out of this world, and this is a prime example. I mentioned this in the season preview. Shout out to Chop Sports. Round of applause for Chop City, my guy.
Shout out to Chop Sports.
Come playoff time, we mentioned in last week's episode, the difference is coaching. When you flip that switch, and your coach and your OC or your DC looks over to the players. Okay, they punched us in the face. How are we going to counter? They punched us again in the face. How are we going to counter? How are we going to flip that switch in the key moments to make the plays when it's winning time? Sly Stallone voice. When it's winning time.
Yes.
And Andy Reid and the Chiefs, they do that consistently with Patty Mahomes, with Travis Swift-Kelce, with the whole lot of them. And the teams that aren't playing anymore, they don't do that. Tell me when I'm telling lies, I'm wearing this hoodie.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
All right, 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. We're going to open the phone lines in about 15 minutes. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Huge props to Steve Spagnuolo, because he has had not just with this game, but he has been in it all season long. I mean, I feel like we don't talk enough about the defense of Kansas City, except if his name is Chris Jones.
Right.
But, they got they're very well coached. You may not have to have some superstars back there besides Chris Jones, but they come to play and they know the game plan and they know what needs to be done. And they don't commit these stupid penalties like all the other teams that do in the NFL with these, great defenses and so on and so forth. Shout out to the New York Jets, by the way. But no, I feel like, I don't know if Steve Spagnuolo is ever going to be in consideration for a head coaching position, but you know what he's like? He's like not a poor man. He's a rich man's version of Greg Williams. You know, a guy that is hard-nosed, knows what to do, always in the top 10 as far as defense is concerned, but he has his guys ready to play and a much better reputation than Greg Williams, because we all know that debacle that happened years ago.
Oh, yeah, with Bounty Gate. But no, get those round of applause going. Guys like Snead, guys like McDuffie, guys like Nick Bolton. Guys like Karlaftis, like Amenahue as well, who unfortunately tore his ACL. They've got studs over there that, again, they're in the shadow of really the 3 stars when you think of the Chiefs of Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones. Those are the first 3 names, obviously, you think of. And, of course, and the head coach.
And the head coach,
Like, it's really those 4 faces, but all those defensive studs, they draft well, they develop well, and, again, their scheme is multifaceted. It's not just a one-and-done, listen, all we do is blitz. All we do is play man. All we do is play zone. No, it's very similar to the Patriots back during their dynasty. They play whatever is necessary for that opponent. And again, round of applause for coaching. I'm going to keep on saying it. You win in this league when you've got elite coaching that can elevate the players and at the same time adapt. Adapt and match personnel. All these hot button things that, again, your team doesn't do, my team doesn't do, all the teams that have been knocked out of the tournament or didn't make the tournament, that's what they fail to do.
Yeah, and you know, the great thing about Kansas City and how they do everything so well over there is that they've lost elite players. They lost Tyreek Hill. They lost a whole bunch of other people. Matthew, there you go. Yeah. But it seems like they never lose step.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I know that they still have Patrick and they still have Kelsey and so on and so forth, and they got Chris Jones, but they have lost some key pieces before, but it's like they don't miss a step. They like, all right, like, we lost those guys to free agency, or we it just didn't work out, so we need to go in a different route. And they know what to do. You know, they don't rely so much on the numbers. It's not analytics. This isn't the MLB, even though it looks like, unfortunately, it's heading into the direction with the NFL, which we're going to get into the other game coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, they have a plan. They know what the heck they're doing over there in Kansas City, and this is going to be. They've already become that dynasty where people are already starting to hate them, and because they're tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes.
Not me. I love Patty Mahomes.
Listen,
he's been one of my favorite players since his rookie year. I saw him put up 7 touchdowns against the Steelers his first year, and I was like, that guy's one of those hymns. And funny enough, he's from Texas. Of course he is. So no, Patty Mahomes he plays in the AFC. I got no issues with him.
Well, it's funny because my team plays in the AFC, but I have no problem with it either. And I think because I've been such a tortured Jets fan for so long, specifically with the Patriots and their dynasty, that they were winning for so long in that era that I don't even care who comes close to it. Because listen, this is nothing to me. All right, I've been rejected so many times by the hot girl, and this is nothing to me right here. That's exactly what it's like.
Salvaje.
Yeah, but I'm not done with the dynasty. Keep it going. I just want to see some great football because Lord knows we're not seeing it from our teams right now, more so mine than yours. But yeah, we're witnessing history here. I mean, I think that's what gets lost in the sauce. That we talk about the primetime days of the NFL with Pat Summerall and John Madden and all those other ones, which are great.
Taking me back.
It's a great. No, not counting it out, but this is also history that we're witnessing right now, so we should appreciate it while we still have it.
I said it last week. I'll say it every week leading up to the Super Bowl and after the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of the NFL right now. Plain and simple. There is no. It starts with him, and then everybody else. Everybody else is trying to catch up to him. And we'll get to the game. Obviously, you're going to break it down again next week. You know what I mean? If I am on that show, thanks to the Wizards schedule. But
shout out to the Wizards.
Shout out to Harlem Wizards. You know what I mean? Of course. The tour continues. It'll continue tomorrow with me. I'll be in New York tomorrow doing a game. But again, it starts with him. He's so great. He's one of those ones. He's one of those He is. Play the music, Marv. He's the face of it. He is the generational quarterback of this generation. And I love watching him play. And it's a joy to watch. I pray it's never Cowboys Chiefs in the Super Bowl that I have to root against them, obviously for obvious reasons. But I love me some Pat Mahomes. Keep doing your thing, bro. Keep doing it.
And I remember having a lot of respect for him when Kansas City was in Tampa, where they were going against Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. Now, obviously, they didn't play that well because they lost 2 of their key offensive linemen.
Tackles.
Yeah, both tackles. That's hard to do. But you know what? even though that was a terrible game by the rest of the team, and because those backups didn't live up to the hype, of
course,
and Tom Brady is Tom Brady after all.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes still impressed me in that game, even though they lost and they weren't even come close to tying it up.
Mm-hmm.
He did some things that I don't think any other human being was able to do. I specifically remember there was a play towards the end where he fought hard and nonstop to try to get a touchdown that he ultimately didn't get because Le'Veon Bell didn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show that toughness, that grittiness, and that's what I want in my QB. I don't care about swagger. I don't care about stats. I don't care about this and that. I just care about wins and how you do it. That's again, Woody Johnson, take notes.
Yeah, I mean, and what I love and adore, you know me, I'm going to keep saying it, I'm blue in the face, team building.
Yeah.
The organization realized after that game, we have a $500 million quarterback. We've got one of the best that's ever done it, and we failed him. We did not give him the adequate depth along the offensive line to protect him and give us a chance to win and give him a chance and really let him be great. We didn't do that. So what did they do? That entire offseason, they rebuilt the offensive line. They drafted like 3 offensive linemen, they traded for another one, and they signed another one. I want to see that type of energy in my team, and I know you want to see that type of energy in your team, and that is a perfect segue into keep that same energy. This episode of Keep That Same Energy is brought to you by New York Posse. Grab yourself some New York Posse merch at American Dream Mall, I believe.
Yes.
Right here in the great state of the Garden State of New Jersey. By the way, we got Mark Padermo on the boards.
Hey.
Marvelous. We're live from Bravery Studios in lovely Garfield, New Jersey. This is also brought to you by Things Galore at Etsy at US. Grab yourself some AI-inspired art. Shout out to my big brother King. I'm not rooting for your 49ers, but I am rooting for your art. This is also brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast. New episodes available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as the You Go Boy podcast.
You go, boy.
We've got a brand new episode dropping next week with the lovely Letty and the lovely Eddie LeBron. The 3-time Emmy Award-winning Eddie LeBron.
Yes.
Gotta say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
Yep. Put some respect on his name.
Big facts, big facts. They'll be promoting their movie, their upcoming film, 21st Century Courtship, which was an absolute round of applause. Absolutely amazing film.
I love the film.
Yes, great film. They've been in about 5 or 6 different festivals all across the country. I think they're headed to Atlanta now, but that's a great episode.
They're in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, they're in there. Sorry, they're in there now, and I'm just over the moon. It's a great episode. Can't wait till you guys see it. I just finished editing it last night, so
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me another Bart Scott. Can't wait. But Marv, let me get a Chris Tucker first. he said it before I did. He got it before I just said it. And let me get 10. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, you got your brother in the check-in saying Brock Montana.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Of course. Shout out to King. I'm waiting for him to get the Brock Purdy jersey. He's getting the Debo first, and then he said he's gonna eventually get Brock Montana. Let's start right here with keeping that same energy. Jerry Jones came out with some interesting comments this week, stating that the Cowboys are getting ready to go all in. Can I get 5? You sure about that?
I was just gonna say
Give me
that.
5. You sure about this?
You sure about that?
What do you always say? 29 years and
sure
counting.
about that?
29 years and counting. For my brother, it's 30 years and counting. Hopefully San Fran can end their drought. But yeah, no,
The Jets are saying, "Hold my beer." By the way, it's 54 years.
They're double fisting. Hold both of my beers. No, so Jerry Jones is like that deadbeat dad who says, "Son, I'll pick you up from soccer practice." There's empty promises, or he goes out for a pack of cigarettes and just never comes back.
Jesus.
That's who Jerry is. Him saying the Cowboys are going to go all in the offseason, like, dog, just miss me with that. Where's my camera? This face. Bro, really? We don't want to hear anything out of you, bro. Until the dinosaurs come back. Like you have absolutely zero credibility with Cowboys Nation. Just like your head coach has zero credibility with Cowboys Nation right now, and just like your quarterback has zero credibility with Cowboys Nation right now. Like, what does all in mean? Does it mean you're actually gonna sign competent free agents instead of bargain basement BS? You know what I mean? Does it mean that you're actually gonna draft guys that don't come in with 12 surgeries before you draft them? Is that what it means?
Does that mean that you're actually going to get rid of the coach that you have right now and go for a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach?
No, he'll do that after the season. Don't worry. Give me some Dom DeMarcos.
But that's not going all in.
But that's not going all in. That's long-term all in, I guess. Like, no, listen.
That's
bro.
layaway right there.
Yeah. You put them in Kmart right now. You put $5 on it, and you went back into your freaking Mercedes and drove back to freaking Valley Ranch. Not like, listen, nobody cares what you have to say right now, bro. Like, all in means nothing. It means nothing to Cowboys Nation. You have not put out a competent winning product in all the major phases, in coaching, in team building, and in roster building. Those three, you have not done that for damn near 3 decades right now. And it's like when we get one right, then we don't get the other right. And then we get 2 right, but then we don't get the other right. Then we'll get 1.5 right, and don't get the other 1.5 right. You see what I'm saying? Like somehow,
I feel dizzy after all of that.
it's so frustrating. You want a prime example of how it's done right? Look at the San Francisco Avengers. And we can take this back because it's not too long ago. They had 3 coaches in 4 seasons. They had a walloping, amazing roster of coaches, from Mike Singletary to Jim Tomsula to Chip Kelly. Yes, he was there. And I know you 49er fans. I hope my brother's still watching.
Mr. One and Done.
Yes. A number of coaches that had no business being NFL head coaches. But you know what their GM, and of course, Trent Baalke, the GM that pushed out Jim Harbaugh. He pushed him out. Literally pushed him out and pushed him to Michigan. You know what I mean? And now Harbaugh's back in the NFL. He's with the Chargers. But you talk to a 49er fan, they're like, Jim should have never left. Jim should have stayed. And it was very, very similar to when one Jerry Jones pushed out Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
And ended one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history because of ego.
Aha. So the point emerges.
Yes, literally. Aha. So called? No spoon. Literally, no spoon and no sense of what the hell to do as a GM. You know what I mean? There's nothing Jerry Jones can say that is going to put Cowboy fans at ease. This is Missouri now, bro. This is the show me state now, bro. You have to show us that you are going to draft like you've got sense. Well, you're going to let Will McClay really cook. Because I feel like every time Will McClay really wants to cook, here comes Jerry like, wait, hold up. Let's take Mozzie Smith. You know what I mean?
You sure about that?
You sure about that? Let's trade up and get Mo Claiborne.
You sure about that?
Mo Claiborne.
Remember that guy?
I remember that. He was on the Jets too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was. Let's drop $50 million on Brandon Carr.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like, bro, I remember.
We gotta have Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore needs to call plays. Monty Kiffin needs to be the DC.
Oh my God.
Rob Ryan needs to be the DC. Again, you still low key make from time to time, and when he does stick his freaking nose in there to make football decisions, it always ends in a illustrious disaster. Yeah, every single time. So this all in, I'm very interested to see what it means. Like, is it gonna? I think I texted. I think I put it in my on Twitter. Or I texted Mongo. All in's gonna be us like trading a 7th round pick for like Cedric Wilson Jr. All in, or bringing back Jalen Smith at linebacker, like, or asking Emmitt Smith to come out of retirement. Is that all in?
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
At this point it might as well be.
Yes. Like I want to see Saquon Barkley as a Cowboy, or I want to see Derrick Henry as a Cowboy, or I want to see us trade for Stephon Diggs, or I want to see us give a blank check to Patrick Queen, the linebacker from freaking the Ravens. I want to see us make impact moves to build this roster and close that gap. Because you won 12 games 2 years ago. You won 12 games the year after, and you won 12 games this past year. It got you 1 playoff win. So unless you're going to go all in, you're wasting your breath, you're wasting your oxygen, you're wasting our time, because we don't care. We're going to just watch the games knowing, oh, that was a great victory over the Giants for the 500th time. What are you going to do in the playoffs? Oh, they're going to fail.
Yeah.
So all in, it means nothing. And, That's all there is to it. Give me a tell me when I'm telling lies. Love you, punk.
Tell me when I'm telling
Round of
lies.
applause for that episode of Let's Keep That Same Energy.
Yes.
Always bringing it, always bringing it.
Always.
All right, now we're going to open up the phone lines. 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. You got Aaron in the check-in. Shout out to Aaron, the We Outside After Work podcast.
Yeah, call in, buddy.
Yeah,
Call
I think
in.
the Dallas Cowboys are fine. Why overreacting today? Well, clearly you haven't been watching the show. Let's keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy,
Come on,
bro.
man.
Yes, again, Marv, again. No, listen, 12 wins is nice, and I know you take 12 wins in a heartbeat.
I thought we were going to get 12 wins.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not.
Sure about
just
that?
when I remember, when I think that everything's going great, I have to remember I'm a fan of the New York Jets. When is this supposed to happen? Lord knows I've made a lot of bad choices in my life, and that's just one of the many. I got 99 problems, and a female ain't one at the moment.
My brother says Emmett will be the running back coach. Aaron's saying they fail in the playoffs because it's one game. I'm like, come on.
Versus 17.
Come on, man. Listen, Aaron, you guys are about to re-sign Tua Tagovailoa to 5 years, $40+ million, or maybe $50+ million. Can I get you sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
You sure about that?
But no, they've got work to do, primarily roster-wise and coaching-wise. And plus, speaking of coaching-wise, they just lost Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is officially
with
a
the
member
Commanders.
of the Commanders.
Oh,
What a
what a
disaster.
Oh, don't even get me started with that one. Yeah. and then obviously this is like BS out there. It's just out there in the universe. But it is Jerry. You never know where his mind can go. There was even some talks that to fill the vacancy that Dan Quinn left for DC is Ron Rivera.
That was hogwash. That was poppycock. That was rubbish. That was dribble. All the Mary Poppins terms.
Oh my God! Can you imagine though? Like why? Why?
No, thank you. And again, I think I texted. Me and Mongo had a nice conversation about this. Love you, Mongo. Hope you call in today, buddy. Bill Belichick is not going to consider a defensive coordinator job, and Mike Vrabel's not going to consider a defensive coordinator job.
No,
you know
he's
why?
not.
Because they both know the Dallas Cowboys job is going to be available at the end of this season, so they can just sit back and wait.
Can you imagine next year, if we're doing the show, God willing, that we were going to have new head coaches and they're ones that nobody in the league wanted, and then afterwards we're going to reap the benefits?
Yeah, that would be lovely. Bill comes here, but Mike goes there, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be.
I think the
lovely.
first one is more prevalent. Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. And again, I said it last week. This whole talk of Bill being out of touch is absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Like, bro, so you don't want fundamentals? You don't want guys knowing where they're supposed to be on plays? You don't want a lack of, we led the league in penalties? You don't want to not lead the league in penalties? Winning in the playoffs? That's not sexy anymore?
Right.
Okay, if that's what's not in, I don't know what is. Okay, so no, sign me up for some Bill Belichick if it means we actually have a game plan coming to the playoffs. Right. And I know sign you up for Mike Vrabel if it means, okay, yeah, we're playing against the Rockets.
I'll sign for it up right now. Now listen, I love Robert Saleh. I think he's a great guy, but listen, we're in a business where it's all about results. And right now, I think that Robert Saleh's record is 15-38. That's not good. That's not that. I'm surprised he actually has a job right now, and that's only solely because of Aaron Rodgers. But also, you have Aaron in the check-in saying that imagine being a Jets or a Giants fan over the past decade. Well, I can't argue there with the Jets, but at least with the Giants, they at least won a Super Bowl in the last decade. When was the last time the Miami Dolphins won the Super Bowl? I mean, so
Tua is fraudulent. We've been there.
Yeah.
And if you want to call in, I told you, scam alert, potential scammer. Whenever it comes up, it comes at 215 and I'm sorry, 305. Miami. Oh, okay. Oh.
Mr. 305, darling. All right. Well, 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. And also, before we continue, we want to give a shout out to another sponsor of the show. Shout out to Pretty Tea and Things. She was very fortunate enough to give us some wings right here that she's doing her catering, but she's doing a special right now for the Super Bowl. Go in your orders right now. So reach out to Pretty Things on Instagram at Pretty Tea and Things, and also on TikTok. Payments available through Cash App and Zelle. The number to call in is 551-388-4546. Let me try that again. That's 551-388-4546. Hit her up. Super Bowl orders being ordered right now. Call in. get your stuff. I can't wait to munch on these, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Aaron, I see you in the check-in, man, but I think you should give us a call right now if you're not slinging mattresses too much. Yeah.
Aaron, please call in. I'm sure Tua will block the call with a fraudulent number, but you can call in, man. Come on, the line will be open soon. Call in and vent your frustrations about your. Is he one of those generational quarterbacks?
Hello, it's me. Yo, shout out to Kyrie Williams in the check-in. Also, he's at an HBCU game right now in Newark. Love you, dog. Thank you for the merch and thank you for the support as always.
Yes.
All right, so now we got into the Chiefs and how their dominance and how they continue to prove everybody in the NFL wrong, and shame on us.
Yeah.
But there was also another game that happened that past weekend where it was led to a big disappointment, and I really truly feel bad for the fans of the Detroit Lions.
Nah, I don't. Give me 50 trashes for Dan Campbell. Marv, hold the button. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some night crawlers.
Oh wow! So you're done with Dan Campbell?
I'm not done with him.
Okay.
I'm done with what he did. His performance.
Yeah.
Like they're the fighting Dan Campbells, but 10 toes down, he lost that game. It was twofold.
He'll even tell you that himself.
Yes, it was twofold.
He took the blame.
It was twofold. Round of applause for Brock Montana. Brock Montana made some really nice plays in the second half with his legs. And Christian McCaffrey, he gets a round of applause.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk gets a round of applause. Like the Avengers showed up. What do I always say? I mean, have you heard me say it once? Or maybe twice? Or maybe a couple times? You sure about that?
Sure about that?
Your stars need to show up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's
by the way,
kind of how it works.
By the way, Amon-Ra Brown is actually on my ish list right now because I put on a huge parlay bet, and all I needed was just a touchdown from him, and I would have cashed in, but he chose not to catch the ball that day.
I mean, so I gave the flowers to the Avengers.
Yeah.
Now let's take some flowers away, like a breakup. You know what I mean? Let's take I want the dog back. All right.
Yeah. This is almost like when I got that girl red roses and she was like, oh yeah, I don't like the color red.
That's a savage. No, I mean, you're in a playoff game. You always take the points in a playoff game. It's so, and I got into it. Shout out to Joe Darko, one of my homies from Penn State.
That's a real name?
That's his real name.
I think I went to school with the John Darko.
he's from Ghana. He thinks that his rice is better than Nigerian rice.
Oh wow, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, we don't.
You sure about that?
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
No, we don't. What I'm saying is, you take the points. His argument was, you can't fault Dan Campbell because his aggressiveness is what got them to the playoffs. And that's not what the argument is here.
Right.
Aggressiveness and recklessness are not the same.
No.
At all. Give me a Dom DeMarco there. They are not. And give me a Bailey Yahtzee. Give me a Bailey Yahtzee there, please.
Hey, boo.
They're not the same word, let alone the same idea. I'm up 14. I'm going against a team that A, is better than me, B, has more talent than me, and C, is at home. So momentum is very real in all three cases in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You take the points. You go up 17. You very well might still lose because they just have it like that. But it's more likely that they have to work harder and they're more apt to make a mistake if they have to score 3 times versus they have to score twice. Mm-hmm. And you have a golden opportunity. The ball was at like the 28-yard line or 29-yard line.
Yeah.
Take the damn points. You go up 17 there. They're still in catch-up mode. You don't go for it. They go down, they score. 1 possession game. Then you turn the ball over. Tie ball game. Just like that. Mm-hmm. Just like that. And then what happens? You're driving to tie the game. They've come back. They've taken the lead now. You're down 3. They stop you again. You tie the ball game up there. Who knows? A sack fumble, a turnover, a penalty. It's anybody's game with about 8 to 10 minutes left. You tie the game up. What do you do again? You go for it again, and then you get no points. And what do? They go down and put the game away. Again, the game management was bozo-ish, was so clownish. The way this everyone I saw on Twitter, they were just like, I think Dan Campbell has a gambling problem.
Oh, Dan Gamble.
Dan
that should be his name.
Dan Gamble. No, I like that. I like that. No. He was beyond reckless with his decision making as a head coach, and yeah, you feel for like Goff. You feel for St. Brown. You feel for Montgomery, Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Laporta, Ragnow, their center. You feel for the Jack Campbell. You feel for their players. They got studs all across. They've done a great job building that roster. But they lost that game because of the coach.
Absolutely.
Their coach ruined that game for them
yeah.
with his reckless decision making. And again, you take the points in the playoffs because, okay, yeah, you can gamble more in the regular season because, yeah, we're playing next week.
Yeah.
You're not playing next week in the playoffs if you lose.
Right.
That's reckless. So Dan Campbell, he cost them that game.
Yeah, and
100%.
you know what? And shout out to Kyle Shanahan because he proved again why he's not just a great coach, but even just at the very least a competent coach because he saw what very early on what the Detroit Lions were doing with the aggressiveness. He figured, all right, Dan Campbell's acting reckless right now. They're going all in. We know what the game plan is. We know they're not going to go. We know that they're going to go for it every single time on 4th down. So you know what? Let's game plan for it. Let's make some adjustments. Let's make sure that we save all our timeouts and the clock management, and we're going to easily. This is a classic case of chess over checkers, and that's what Kyle Shanahan was able to do against Dan Campbell. And listen, I love the story what Dan Campbell has been able to do, and I think that going forward, the Detroit Lions are going to be a destination where people are going to want to play because he is a coach that people want to play for and run through a brick wall for. But I think that this was a huge lesson for him that you got to play smarter, not harder.
Facts.
And that's exactly what they did here.
Don DeMarco. Tell me what I'm telling lies. Yeah, you know they're telling me what I'm telling lies.
Right.
He should have won the Rumble, but unfortunately he got hurt. So sorry, Punk. He's gonna be out for a while.
Are we having a rice debate going on right here in the check-in?
Yeah, it's getting serious. Nigerian jollof over Ghanaian jollof. I said what I said.
Well, you know what? Speaking of rice, don't forget to place in your orders with Pretty Tea and Tangs at Instagram at Pretty Tea and Tangs. Super Bowl orders on right now. You got wings, you got chicken, you got rice, you got everything. Really fantastic food. Support small business. Go ahead.
Yes,
Placing your orders right now.
Don DeMarco. Another Don DeMarco. Yeah, I mean it was. It's not surprising when the home team seizes momentum and goes on and wins the game.
Yeah.
That's not surprising in the playoffs. I've seen that numerous times. And when you're at halftime, the other team is in catch-up mode. The other team, they're going to take risks. They're going to play out of their game plan. You know what I mean? Because they understand, oh, shoot, we got to score 3 times. You keep that same energy and you keep them behind the 8 ball and you trade blows or whatnot, they're going to run out of time. But the second you go for a reckless, ill-advised gamble, what do you have to gain out of that? That's my question because, okay, let's say in Dan Campbell's mind, we're going for it and we're going to try to score a touchdown here. Regardless, it's going to be a 3-score game regardless.
Yeah.
So even if you score a touchdown, just simple math, quick math, bro.
Yeah.
You score a touchdown there, you're up 21 points. You kick a field goal, you're up 17 points. They still have to score 3 times.
Yep.
So it literally makes no sense for you to go for it there. I don't care what.
What do you gain from that?
One more time for that. One more time.
What do you gain from that?
I'll tell you what you gain. A big fat L.
Yeah.
They're home now. They lost their opportunity to play in Vegas because the coach had it in his mind that, you know what, I trust our guys here. No, you don't trust your guys. You don't trust your gut. You make the play that makes sense at that time or whatnot because it's the playoffs.
And you make a great point right there because if you were playing, then that would go to show that you were playing desperate.
Yes.
You were playing desperate and you wanted to put your foot on them and so on and so forth to make sure because you knew how much of a threat that these guys were. And they've been called the best team in the league for the entire season for a reason, and it's proven because they're in the Super Bowl now.
Facts.
You know, and they're just one win away from being Super Bowl champions.
Exactly.
They have to go against Patty Mahomes, but we'll see how that happens.
Yeah.
But that goes to show that again. I'm going to say it one more time because I've heard it all my life, and I'm repeating here. You have to play smarter, not harder. And I think that's the ultimate key here. That what Dan Campbell did in this game. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah, go for it.
Dan Campbell. Obviously, after his press conference, he took accountability. I give him credit for that. He realized that everything in hindsight, he should have done a better job and planned a better game for his team and so on and so forth. Do you actually think that he learns his lesson from this? I don't see how you could not. Do you think that he has the wherewithal to learn from this lesson? Or do you think that he's going to continue being everything status quo?
I think he's always going to be aggressive. I think this taught him about, again, the difference, being reckless.
Yes.
I think he learned a reckless lesson in with this playoff defeat because this ended their season and this ended their opportunity to play for a championship.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to go to show him like, okay, next time let me take the points. Let me go up 3 scores. Let me not give an opportunity for momentum. Like it's different when you're like playing to win the game. That's different. That's her.
Or you're playing not to lose.
Or you're playing not to lose. Playing to win versus playing not to lose. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. Say they're up 4 and they're trying to play keep away and they don't want the 49ers to get the ball back. They still need to score a touchdown. That's different going forward in that sense. You're already winning. You're winning. The 49ers are desperate for anything to give them momentum.
Did you see the halftime score?
Yes, I was.
Oh my God.
I actually
That's rhetorical.
I
Yeah.
watched the game going into halftime because I wanted to see. I was like, let me watch the first half and then I'm going to watch True Detective. That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. So going into the half, I'm like, Detroit they're dominating this game. They're dominating on the ground. They're getting after Purdy. Purdy threw a pick. The 49ers looked discombobulated on offense. Their defense had no answers. The Detroit offensive line was kicking the ass of the San Francisco defensive line from kickoff all the way to the first half. So I see that as a head coach, and I'm just like, yeah, let's just keep running the ball. Let's go status quo. We'll take our shots when we take them because they're secondary. Again, when the 49ers, I said this before, when they're a front-running team, just like Detroit is, all right, they're a front-running team. When they have a lead, they're going to unleash hell with those pass rushers, with Bosa, with Gregory, with Chase Young when he feels like playing, you know what I mean? With Armstead, and of course with those elite linebackers in Fred Warner and Greenlaw.
Yes.
That's when they're ahead. When they're behind, it's a horror show. There's a reason why Shanahan is 0-38 going into the fourth quarter when he's down a touchdown or 8 points or more. They're a front-running team. So when they have to play behind and Brock Purdy has to drop back 40 times, that's not the way they want to play. They want to run to set up the pass, not pass to set up the run. You have them playing backwards. So you go up 3 scores late in the game, you're forcing Kyle to play the game that he doesn't want to play. He doesn't want Purdy to throw the ball 40 times. They were last in the league in pass attempts. They're the Yak Boys for a reason. They throw short. They throw short to Debo, short to Kittle, short to Ayuk, short to McCaffrey, and then they make 40-yard plays. They make 50-yard touchdowns. They make explosive plays. But they want to run the ball with McCaffrey 35 times. That in a perfect world, they want to do that every game. You're up 3 scores, they can't do that. But you're up 2 scores, they can do that. You're up 1 score, they damn sure can do that. The game's tied, absolutely they can do that. You basically let the 49ers get back to their game. And at home, with the momentum, as the higher seed, they absolutely did what they were supposed to do. They won the game. So hopefully he learned his lesson. Hopefully he did, but this loss is not on Goff. It's not on the Lions. It's on Dan Campbell.
Yes, it is. And you know what? And you know, you mentioned also we kept the same topic about good coaching. So you got to also give a lot of credit to Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers.
Round of applause. He gets a round of applause
because that's him and Shanahan working together, simpatico. That is the definition of complementary football right there.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have your offense clicking, and you have to have your defense clicking. They had a game plan. They saw the flaws with Dan Campbell's game and the Detroit Lions pretty early on.
Adjustments.
They made halftime adjustments.
Yes, they
Thank you very much. And they knew what they needed to do. And they've been in this situation before. This is why you can't count out these type of teams because they've been there and done that.
Right.
And you know what? All the credit in the world. And listen, I feel for the Detroit Lions, their fan base particularly, and also for the players because they fought hard on the field.
They
out
did.
There.
They left it all out there.
They left it all out there as much as they can. They knew that this is, and Dan Campbell did say earlier in the season, we may not be back here again, so leave it all out there, and they did, but he just didn't put them in the best positions to win. No, and even I'm pretty sure, and they won't say it publicly, but I'm pretty sure that there's some people in his coaching staff and the players that were saying, "Really, why are we running that?"
Yeah. Like you're the job of the coach is.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't like kickers.
Yeah, and they've got a good kicker too.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. Shout out to Patterson. So it's good for you, dog. No, it's the job of the head coach to manage the game, to elevate the team, and put his players in the best possible position to succeed. He has to do those big 3.
Right.
And Dan Campbell didn't do that, and that's why they lost the game. That's why they're not playing in Vegas. And I would have loved the Patty Mahomes, Dan Campbell fighting Dan Campbell Super Bowl. That'd have been box office, but it's still going to be a good Super Bowl though.
It is.
But I think I think since the Lions have never been there before, and again, their fans,
The moment would have been too big for them.
I don't know if the moment would have been too big. I feel like Campbell would have done what he did. If he didn't do it against the 49ers, he was going to do it against the Chiefs. I feel like he would have made some reckless, boneheaded decisions to basically force the issue when he didn't have to. He'd have been reckless instead of aggressive. Andy Reid is aggressive. Andy Reid's not reckless.
No, he's not reckless. No.
The elite coaches, the Super Bowl winning coaches, are not reckless. They understand taking the temperature of the game. You know, they make decisions based on, okay, my gut says to do this, but my head says don't do this, because this is gonna. If we don't get it, we could lose the game down the road for it. Let's not do that.
And let's see if it'll be a humbling experience for Dan Campbell, and let's see if he learns his lesson. Because one thing that I could point out to is that we mentioned Kyle Shanahan already. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons when they were in the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots.
28-3 lead.
28-3, and then afterwards, I think that who knows, maybe there's a possibility that Kyle Shanahan learned from his lessons in Atlanta of how to make adjustments going forward as a head coach.
Yeah, and again, this is same bat time, same bat channel, except 3 or 4 years later, they had a fourth quarter lead against the Chiefs the last time they played, and they left the door open with Patty Mahomes, and the play wasp is going to live in infamy.
I think they were too distracted by J-Lo and Shakira after the halftime game.
I guess it's a lot to be distracted by.
Oh yeah,
it's possible. But
Lord knows I would be.
But typically, when you have a double-digit lead in a Super Bowl, you're supposed to win that game.
Yeah,
you are. And the Eagles did not do. They did the same thing.
It always comes back to the Eagles.
It always comes back to them. Happened to them last year in the Super Bowl. Same thing. When you've got a double-digit lead on Patty Mahomes in the Super Bowl, it's not safe. It's not safe. It's really not safe. But when we preview the game, we'll break down who's going to do what. But yeah, the Lions aren't in it because of the coach.
Yeah,
I said what I said. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
It's all about Dan Campbell. I mean,
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Well, you called them the Fighting Dan Campbells, and that's basically who it was on at that game.
They went down swinging at air.
Yes. 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, or like punching themselves, actually.
862-621-9536 is the number to call in. One more time for our sponsors of Pretty Tea and Things here. Put in your Super Bowl orders. Hit her up on Instagram at Pretty Tea and Things. Cash App and Zelle is available. Shout out to the New York Posse, and shout out to
Things galore.
Things galore. Yeah, I apologize.
All good.
Yes, but definitely call in, everybody. 862-621-9536. So now we have one game left. It's a Super Bowl.
Now, really, there is 2.
Yes.
And now there were 2.
And now there were 2.
Said last week, but now it's really, now it's 2.
It's legit.
It's legit now.
Yeah. So, in Vegas, first time being played in Vegas.
Yeah.
Since the Raiders moved to Vegas, but they created that new high-tech stadium that we could only wish that we could have in East Rutherford, New Jersey, but that's never going to happen. But, Super Bowl is all set. This is the game that both football fans and non-football fans are looking forward to, because you got the game, but then you also have commercials, and you also have the halftime show, which I'm looking forward to, because I'm a fan of Usher. I've always wanted to see him perform live. I haven't got the chance to yet, hopefully in the near future. But, I'm looking forward to that. But as far as the game is concerned, this is interesting, because this is a really sexy box office matchup right now.
For a number of reasons,
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the world right now, going up against Brock Purdy, or Brock Montana, as your brother wants to say.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's an interesting matchup, because you got 2 really good head coaches, really great elite head coaches, and Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan. Andy Reid is a little bit more, because he actually has the rings to back it up.
Yeah,
you have Patrick Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the entire world, and then you have Travis Kelce, and then you got Chris Jones, and then you got some good players. You got Isaiah Pacheco and Rice and so on and so forth. But when I look at the 49ers, I have some question marks about the quarterback, but they seem to be complete everywhere else. They got the wide receiver, they got the tight ends, they got the running back, they got the O-line, they got the D-line, they got the defense, they got the secondary, they got the coaching. They're all in place. The only caveat that I have is just the quarterback. So it's really interesting to see how it's going to go, because you have easily the best quarterback in the world going up against basically a a question mark, or a plug and play. Basically, that's what it is. You could put, like we mentioned so many times, Sam Darnold could go in there and also be the quarterback. Who knows he's going to win, but at least he's going to look good. He's definitely going to look good. That's for sure.
Yeah, facts.
So I don't know. It's an interesting matchup. I don't know where to swing. Recency bias is telling me that I should go with the Chiefs because I've been proven wrong time and time against them, but. I don't know. I just don't think that they have faced a team like the 49ers all year, and they're going to be really put to the test. But I feel confident in Patrick Mahomes going ahead and getting the job done.
It's like the saying by, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's like the saying by the great Michael Irvin. It's nothing like looking a joker in the mouth, slapping him in the face with "Damn it, I told you so." Shout out to Mike.
I like that. I like that.
I love you.
At least they got one competent person at Fox Sports.
Facts. And Mike Irv, facts, because Patty Mahomes slapped me in the face 2 weeks ago when I picked Buffalo, and slapped me in the face again when I picked Baltimore.
Basically, it was Mike Epps with the baby powder.
Big facts. He had the powder twice, and then his dad came with a cigar. And then again, like, you picked who? Lamar? Who? Josh Allen? You picking Brock Purdy? You sure about that? No. I mean, this is about the quarterbacks, but it's not about the quarterbacks. This is going to come down to the money quarter, fourth quarter. It is. This isn't going to be a blowout.
No, I don't think
by any stretch of the imagination.
It could be high scoring.
Yeah, honestly.
This is far from. I think this is going to be far from a baseball score.
Absolutely. It's going to come down to the trenches. It's going to come down to the main three things I always say. Say it with me. It's all about running the football, playing good defense, and turnovers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because what you have, if San Francisco plays their absolute best and Kansas City plays their absolute best, San Francisco should win. San Francisco should have won when they played in Miami.
Yes.
Honestly, they outplayed Mahomes. They got after him with pressure. He was making mistakes. He had an interception. They did a great job of running the ball, running their offense. They settled in. They left that door open. Because at the quarterback position, they were. Can I get some 10 trashes from Mr. Garoppolo? I'm going to do it every single time his name comes up. You know what I mean? Who ironically plays for the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, so if Kansas City has a lead going into the fourth quarter, same bat time, same bat channel, they're not going to make the mistakes that Detroit made because A, they've got a better coach, and B, they've got the best quarterback in the world. And on top of that, San Francisco is a front-running team. With the Kansas City, the wild card with them is they play whatever they need to play on that Sunday. You can't call them a front-running team, not with that quarterback.
No.
And you can't call them a one-dimensional team, not with that defense. And again, Isaiah Pacheco is the X factor because when he runs the ball, they're a completely different team.
Yeah.
Jersey guy. Hello.
Yep. Shout out to Rutgers.
Yeah. And you look at skill position players, 1,000% San Francisco. Come on, like wide receivers, like Ayuk would be a number one receiver on Kansas City.
Yeah.
Tight end is kind of a wash, really, with Kittle versus Kelsey. Both are going to have gold jackets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, what it's going to come down, if San Francisco has a lead going into the fourth of 7 points or more, I want to see what Kyle does in terms of, can he run it out with McCaffrey? Can he? Because those are the X factors. The X factors are the running backs. It's not really the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks might decide it, whoever has the ball last. But the X factors, who controls the game, is going to be the running backs.
That's correct.
If Pacheco runs the ball effectively from start to finish, and you can run the ball against that front. Montgomery and Gibbs were running circles around that defense, especially in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If they can run the ball effectively with Pacheco and occasionally sprinkling some Clyde Edwards-Helaire, guy with 5 names, Kansas City's in business. But if McCaffrey has a monster game, one of those McCaffrey games, and they can control it from start to finish, give me San Francisco. I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes. I've learned my lesson. Nope, you're not going to baby powder me 3 weeks in a row. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
One time, shame on you.
Yes, 2 times. Yeah, you know the saying. I believe it's going to go back and forth. I believe I said it. I said it. Tell me when I'm telling lies. The deficiency at quarterback is going to show up. It showed up last week against Detroit, especially in the first half until Dan Campbell opened the floodgates up.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The deficiency at quarterback is going to show up in this game. If Purdy goes out, lights up Spagnuolo's defense from start to finish, I will come here singing a completely different tune about him. Like, okay, he's done it for the whole tournament. He did it in the Super Bowl. He outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl. He lit up Spagnuolo's defense. Yeah, he's going to get his flowers. Am I going to call him a generational quarterback? I'll never call him that.
No.
You know what I mean? But he would have absolutely earned that Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's going to happen. I do believe, however, Mahomes is going to be Mahomes in the key moments and the key situations that are going to decide this game, and that's going to be that'll be the difference. The key and the X factor are the running backs. The difference is going to be the quarterbacks, and the difference is Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm also looking forward to the coaching matchups here, because you got Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid, as we said, but you also have Chris Forrester, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, versus Matt Nagy for the Kansas City, and then you got Steve Spagnuolo, who we mentioned, against Steve Wilkes, both defensive coordinators for both teams. All of these guys, with the exception of maybe Chris Forrester, we know what they're about.
Yeah,
they've proven themselves in the league. They've won. They've been on winning championship teams and so on and so forth. They've been here before. They know what's at stake. Yeah. And with that being said, I feel very confident into seeing that both teams are going to have great game plans. Just going to see who. It's just going to be about who leaves it out there more on the field and who actually executes the best. And it all comes down to the players. So that's going to be a good matchup as far as coaching is concerned, because they have the game plan and they know what they need to do. It's all about the players going and who know and with the matchups that you said, it's going to be about the running backs, it's going to be about the quarterbacks. But as of currently constituted, I have to give the edge to Patrick Mahomes here.
Yeah, and what so round of applause for Bach Montana.
Yes.
He again, key runs, key throws. He got away with a couple. One he threw over the middle to Brandon Jennings, that should have been picked off. The one he threw the Ayuk that he caught off the ricochet, it literally hit the Detroit player in the face. In the face and hands, and Ayuk caught it. Sometimes you need luck on your side, especially at home. You're not going to get away with that against Kansas City. You're not. Like, Spagnuolo's going to have... I remember against the Dolphin game, against the frauds from South Florida. There were a couple coverages that they were showing the next day on Next Gen and All 22. Like, the guys, the safeties are like rotating mid-play. They're going from cover 2 to cover 3 to cover 4, half cover 3, half cover 2, half man coverage. They're doing, they confused Tua a bunch of times in that game.
It was like he had a concussion without getting hit.
Pretty much. That's a savage. That's a savage.
Savage.
And
sorry, Aaron.
You just know that Chris Jones, he's not going to waste his time lining up against Trent Williams.
No.
It's like no. I'm going to take your other tackle, or I'm going to take your guard. San Francisco is loaded, and they are complete, but that offensive line is still their Achilles. It's still their kryptonite. If Trent I don't trust anyone not named Trent Williams, and my brother will say the same exact thing. And God forbid if something happens to Trent Williams, because that's when Karlaftis and that's when Chris Jones are going to get home and wreck shop, man. Like, I'm telling you, like. If this is why San Francisco, they don't throw as much as a lot of people think they do. They don't. They can't. They literally can't. It's not even a matter of like they don't want to. It's like it's a combination of they don't want to and they can't do it. Their offensive line can't hold up for 4 quarters. Their offensive line is built to run the ball and then pass when they have to pass.
Yeah.
Kansas City's offensive line, they're built to do both whenever they want to do both. And if they lose a guy, it's not the end of the world because they've got the depth behind them. You know what I mean? But from center to the tackles to the guards, the edge goes offensive line-wise to Kansas City. It just does.
It does.
It does. Mm-hmm. But again, if San Francisco controls the ball, controls the game, don't turn the ball over, has a game plan for executing and finishing the game off in the fourth, they'll win the game. I just have a hard time believing Spagnuolo is not going to have something up his sleeve to give Brock Montana problems.
Right.
Like I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? But, I could be wrong. But I picked against them the last 2 weeks. I can't do that again. I can't take the baby powder again.
Oh, no.
I just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. It really will.
Yeah. By the way, a little bit of breaking news by Adam Schefter. In a twist in Las Vegas, Cliff Kingsbury has withdrawn himself from consideration for the offensive coordinator job for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh.
Yeah, because there was a report that he was going to be joining Antonio Pierce, but it looks like he's withdrew his name. So I don't know where he's going to go. And I actually kind of forgot about Cliff Kingsbury because he hasn't been in the league for a little bit. I didn't even know if he was actually in college.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's. It would make sense for him to go to Chicago. Considering Chicago is
or the Jets and get rid of Nathaniel Hackett.
I thought you loved Hackett.
I never said I loved Hackett. I said that Aaron Rodgers loves Hackett. By the way, did you hear about that report from The Athletic by Zach Rosenblatt and Diana Rossini?
No.
Oh my God! So this is. Yeah, no problem. So there was this really scathing article that came out on The Athletic, and it does not make the Jets look good in any light at all, because we already know what they were looking like on the field, but there was a report out from The Athletic, as I mentioned, from Zach Rosenblatt and Diana Rossini, somebody who I will have to say as a caveat has had it in for Aaron Rodgers ever since whatever, I don't know exactly what it is, so it could be a little bit of a scathing thing, but they actually spoke to 30 sources, supposedly, and they were telling everybody, they were telling The Athletic, the reporters of The Athletic, what was going on behind the scenes. And basically, in a nutshell, it made Robert Saleh look like he was paranoid. There was a moment back then where Zach Wilson, or somebody had leaked over that Zach Wilson didn't want to play anymore for the Jets or something, and he wants to be traded. And supposedly, Robert Saleh he went into a tailspin when that happened, because he was wondering, why did it get leaked? There was even a story in there that said that he held a coaches meeting and he wanted to know who the leak was, and if you show yourself right now, you will not get in trouble, and even going as far as to threatening to say that I want to see whose cell phone is that leaked that information out.
Oh, now, I did see the back end of that.
Yeah,
the back end of the report. Yeah,
right. And then there's also the report that said that as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down with the injury on the Achilles and he went back to California to get it repaired and so on and so forth, the relationship between him and Zach Wilson had deteriorated to the point where they're not even on speaking terms anymore. And also, it did not look
messy.
Going back to what we were saying right now about Nathaniel Hackett, there was reports on there that said that he would only talk to maybe the offensive line coach and the wide receivers coach, but he wouldn't get with the entire offensive staff until almost the last minute. And he was afraid to make some adjustments in games because it seems like he wasn't very confident, so on and so forth. That's why, as far as Alan Lazard went out there after the loss to the Miami Dolphins in week 14 or 15, whatever it was, where he said that we got outcoached.
Yeah.
So it's a very scathing report. I have to be a little bit mindful because, like I said, this is Diana Rossini, who has had it in for Aaron Rodgers for quite some time. So maybe there's a little bit more umph into that. But I don't know how true it is. It's all speculative. You have to wonder who these sources are, because when we're talking about sports reporting, you could say that you have sources, but I actually need proof. I need evidence. I need names.
Yeah.
So you spoke to 30 sources, fine. We'll give you that. But overall, if you look at this article, it does not look good. And there's even some rumors out there that if it continues to go the way that it is, Robert Saleh might be the first head coach in the Woody Johnson era to be fired in season.
Again, so you know this, and I'm pretty sure it's not speculative that Aaron Rodgers, this is it for him. He's coming back. He's going to play. Knock on wood, no injuries.
Right.
And he's still the coach GM of the team. He's like
you know
what I mean?
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
So there was even a source in the league that was saying that at this point right now, it seems like Aaron Rodgers is the real GM. Joe Douglas is just the assistant GM.
Yeah.
And also Rex Hogan, who was the assistant GM to Joe Douglas, he resigned earlier this week as well.
Well, with that being the case, bro, like what we always talk about, those two words, team building. Mm-hmm. Your roster what is your roster in 2024 being built to do? Is it being built to appease your quarterback who's going to be there for a year? Or is your roster being built to have long-term success moving forward, even with him there and after he leaves?
It's the former. It's the former.
So how do you go into this season with the pom-poms up and all the jet colors and the Fireman Ed and the JETS Jets ready to rock and roll if you don't have a roster that is being built. Your draft and your free agency is going to tell you everything it needs to tell you about what the season's going to look like. Just like with mine. You know,
Right.
we'll have the Draft Super Show on here. We'll have the Draft Super Show on my show. We'll talk about free agency. We'll talk about what our teams are beginning to be sculpted and look like heading into next year's kickoff. But trust me, man, everything you guys did in this offseason, from the coaches to the draft to the free agency, was all about Aaron.
Yep.
All about Aaron. All about Aaron. And the second he went down, like the freaking Hindenburg, it all went to sugar honey iced tea.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, it wasn't built to be sustainable if something happens to this guy. You guys didn't even get a competent backup. You guys didn't get depth pieces in free agency. You just got his buddies. You just got his guys. So what are you guys doing in the draft? What are you guys doing in free agency? Who are you trading for? What are you doing to fortify the roster? Because God forbid if something happens to him again, it might be Denzel Washington deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And likewise with my team, again, I mentioned it earlier with this whole all-in, what are we doing to address the linebackers? What are we doing to refortify the offensive line? What are we doing at running back? Because Tony Pollard's leaving a free agency. Are we going to go get Saquon? Are we going to go get Derrick Henry? Are we going to draft somebody that's capable on day 2 or day 3? Are we going to get players that help you right now? Or are we just going to get everything that we need to get 12 wins and lose in the playoffs to teams that are better coached and better prepared than us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your team building, that report, yes, is scathing. But all that is just foreshadowing, like a movie trailer with the voice and everything. What are you guys going to do to create a roster that is going to close the gap between you and Miami, you and Buffalo, and get you guys the necessary 10 to 11 wins that's going to have you competing for a division and hosting a playoff game or even getting into the playoffs? What are you guys doing to do that?
And you know, another thing that was also in the article, I think it was in the beginning of the article, is somebody had said as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down, it was no longer about playoffs. It was all about survival. So when you have a quote like that, that goes to show that you put all of your eggs into the Aaron Rodgers basket and you didn't have a competent contingency plan for this. And it was right there for you. We talked about it several times on the show before. There were other quarterbacks that were much better insurance policies than Zach Wilson was. And I really truly believe this. Joe Beningo truly believes this. The only reason that they stuck with Zach Wilson through the Aaron Rodgers thing, through the Mike White thing, through the Trevor Siemian thing, all of that, it's only because Joe Douglas specifically had to justify Zach Wilson being the second overall pick in the NFL draft.
And that's dysfunction.
That is malfunction. That's malpractice.
Yes, malpractice. That's dysfunction. That's whatever adjective you want to explain, or noun, or verb, whoever, adverb, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that is not sustainable.
It's even in Spanish. MAL means mal. It means bad.
It means bad. You're not going to win with that type of roster building and team building.
Yeah,
You're not.
and it also makes me wonder, are they going to actually learn their lesson and, clean up the mistakes that they did last year and not put all of their eggs on the Aaron Rodgers basket, or they're just going to run him back? And that's just the definition of insanity. Yeah. Yeah, trying to do the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So listen, I know that you got Aaron Rodgers. He wants to be here. We want to win. You have a small opportunity to win with him. At the very least, you can make the playoffs. I don't know about winning the AFC East. I certainly don't know about Super Bowl, especially at his age right now, and also with the coaching as currently constituted. But you have a small window. You have a chance. You have to take advantage of it. But history tells me that they're not going to. So I hate to say this, and I don't want to put this in existence, but this really potentially has to be, this has the potential to be one of the worst trades or the worst moves that the New York Jets have ever done, and it's all self-inflicted.
You have to take the same approach that allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, Dallas is going to take. Going all in. You have to. Like how, and even more so in you guys' case, because your quarterback's only going to be around for a year. But what I'm saying is you can do both. You can go all in, but you can still have depth and have a fallback plan and have eyes on what we're going to do when this guy's out of here. You can do both. Just like with Dallas, you can put a roster around that's going. You're a 12-win team. There's not too many 12-win teams. There's only a handful of them. But you're one of those actual 12-win teams. So you can consistently get into the tournament. But what pieces are you bringing in, and what adjustments, coaching wise and scheme wise, are you putting in place to get you over the hump? And going all in is getting over the hump. It's literally the two. They're both one and the same. You know, they're synonyms. You know what I mean? You're almost there. You guys are a playoff team. You should have been. We should have been.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah.
But what did you guys in were injuries, mainly at the quarterback position, but a couple key pieces on offensive line and not really defense, because you had the number 1 ranked defense in the league. It was offensively, quarterback-wise, team-building-wise. You guys need to make the necessary moves that aren't Aaron-led, that are actually holistically team-led, to plug those holes in, get a competent backup, because, again, the guy's damn near 50 years old. Something can happen. Him rolling an ankle is not the same as...
he needs to be sponsored by AARP at this point.
Literally. So if you guys aren't signing a Jacoby Brissett or signing,
I would give my left Achilles for Jacoby Brissett.
literally.
Yes.
If you're not signing like a Jacoby Brissett or somebody that's competent, that can run the offense effectively, and basically just do what Flacco was doing for the Browns.
Yes.
Just run the offense. Don't turn the ball over, although he turned the ball over a lot, but that's D'Amico Ryans, and that's
right
in the playoffs. But again, if you have a competent plan in place, you guys didn't have a plan. You didn't have a plan B.
No.
Your plan A was Aaron Rodgers, and that's it.
Literally. That's all it was.
You know what I mean? And likewise with Dallas, when Dallas gets punched in the mouth, they don't have a counter. I've seen it 3 years in a row in the playoffs with playoff Mike McCarthy disasters. There's no if plan A doesn't work, Dallas is just like, damn, what do we do now? Versus you saw San Francisco got punched in the mouth repeatedly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kansas City got punched in the mouth a couple of times. The great teams and the great coaches and the great organizations, they have plan B, they've got C, D, all the way to Z. In case, and again, it doesn't work every single time, but it's good to have it.
Yes.
Just saying. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Just saying.
Yeah, 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. And, you know, an example that I can give you as far as team building is the Baltimore Ravens, because a lot of people were saying before the draft with Lamar Jackson that he was, you know, back when they were saying that he could be better off as a running back or wide receiver than a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think that what Baltimore did was that they drafted their guy and then they put the pieces around him that'll fit his skills. Yeah. And I think that with that kind of team building, then there could be sustainable success. I don't think that the Jets or even the Cowboys are competent of doing that. I think that they're kind of stuck in their own ways and they want to go to brass tacks and old school tactics that clearly haven't worked out.
It's going to take failure to facilitate change.
I like that quote.
That I swear, it's sad. It's sad that it has to be. It doesn't have to be like that.
No,
it doesn't. You can make adjustments. You can get bopped in the head and like, yo, I'm definitely not doing that again. But it shouldn't be. You get knocked out unconscious.
Right.
For you to wake up like, whoo, better not go down that path again. Yeah. And I swear, it's gonna take. It's going to take another disaster from you guys.
So give another time.
Or it's going to take another playoff disaster for the Cowboys for Jerry to be like, this guy's not who we need to take us where we need to go.
Right.
So we're going to have to bring in Bill, you up? Hey, Big Head, you up? Mike Vrabel, you up? It's going to take that. It really is. And I said it last week. I'm going to keep saying it until we get to the season and they show me and show both of us otherwise. You guys are going to have a new head coach in 2025. Dallas is going to have a new coach in 2025. I have nothing they've done and nothing I've seen has led me to believe it's going to be any different for you guys or us. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but typically I'm right about these things.
We've seen this movie over and over again. This is like Casino.
Yeah, this is Casino. We're both getting taken to the cornfields.
Yes.
Exactly, just like Joe Pesci and his brother. The two of us. Look. We're both going like, oh, so we're going to talk about football. Yeah. And then the baseball bats come out.
Oh, man. I feel like a baseball bat has been swinging in my head ever since I became a fan of the New York Jets.
We're both buried in the cornfield now. We are. We're trying to get out there, but we're both there with Joe Pesci and his brother.
So 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. So there's only one game left. I guess let's just get into our predictions for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
let's do it. So I'll let you start off, man.
I said it once, I'll say it again. I'm not picking against Patty Mahomes 3 times in a row. Like, I learned my lesson. Like, just like when my mom told me not to do something, I did it once and caught that belt. I did not make that mistake again. I did not. My brother, another story.
I got a Vietnam flashback right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Marvel know this because we're both Hispanic. That chancleta, that dreaded chancleta, woo!
Oh, for Nigerians, it's anything tied down. It's any type of shoe, towel rack.
It could be a Jordan or a sandal.
Exactly, or a heel.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Golly. So
better hope it doesn't hit your eye.
Yeah. No, so I'm not picking against Patty Mahomes. You couldn't pay me to pick against Patty Mahomes. Not now. I feel like they're locked in. Plus, can I get that generational music real quick? The NFL wants Taylor Swift to have the Super Bowl trophy.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even talked about that, but I see a conspiracy. I know a conspiracy when I see one.
Yeah.
They want her on stage with the Super Bowl trophy. They want her to drop a single, a Shake It Off Super Bowl remix, or Bad Blood, or You Belong to Me remix.
It's so sad that you know these songs. I don't know a single Taylor Swift song.
Harlem Wizards, bro.
Oh, that's
Harlem
true.
Wizards.
That's true.
We have to play Taylor Swift's music at every single game.
The
That's
only reason
why I know, bro.
The only reason I know Bad Blood is because Kendrick Lamar is on that. That's the only reason. That's the only reason that I know about that.
Yeah, but thanks to my profession, I have to know her music. So
fair enough.
But no, the league wants Taylor Swift to win a Super Bowl. The league wants
Can't even
this.
say it with a straight face.
I can't say it with a straight face. I can't. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You know I'm not.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
The league wants this, and the league always gets what it. Just like the league wanted the Rams to win the Super Bowl in Los Angeles.
Man,
Shocker? You shocked by that? You sure about that?
I need Brock Purdy or George Kittle to start dating Bailey so that we can see more of her instead of Taylor Swift.
Oh,
And she is a 49ers fan.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
George
She'll
Kittle.
probably be at the game.
George Kittle, hit her up.
Nah, he's happily married. His wife's a smoke show too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, goodness gracious. Give me Kansas City. Kansas City's going to win this game 24-21. They're going to win this game by key plays by Patty Mahomes late. San Francisco's going to have a lead at some point. And then Patty's going to do what he did to the Eagles. He's going to do what he did to the 49ers the first time around. He's going to make a couple plays where they're just like, a la Jordan in the 90s, where you're just sitting on the bench like, damn, he did it again. Like, what can you do except just grit your teeth and take it? You know what I mean? So give me the Chiefs. Give me the Fighting Swifties. That you belong to me. Shake it off. Bad blood. The league wants this. The league's gonna get it. The Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl.
You know, I hate to go against. No, I hate to go with the. You know, I want to be a leader, not a follower in most cases. But listen, I'm a realist. I know not to go against the grain sometimes. I know I've certainly learned my lesson before. But here's the way that I plan it going now. I plan it to be a pretty. I plan it to be like the 49ers are going to be ahead. Mm-hmm. Maybe it might be a halftime of like 21-10.
You've seen this movie before?
Yes. I'm writing the script right now. NFL should hire me to write the script right now.
Give me some Roman Reigns. Give me some Roman Reigns. Well, keep him going. Give me 5 more. Give me 5 more.
So you're gonna have a situation where Kansas City, they're in this game. They're trying to get. They're in this game, but you know there's a little mistakes going their way. Maybe Rice drops a ball. Maybe Pacheco fumbles. Maybe here and there. You have San Francisco getting ready. They're poised. They know their game plan. Brock Purdy's not making any mistakes yet. Brandon Ayuk is looking like the next coming of Jerry Rice. You also have Deebo Samuel looking like the next Rice Jr. basically. Yeah. Everything's going great. You know, you got 49ers faithful just cheering. They're getting ready to hoist the trophy and so on and so forth. Halftime comes by. Usher puts on an amazing performance next to Beyonce's, and certainly better than Rihanna. I'm sorry, now, a lot of people are not going to agree with me with that, but I'm sticking to it. Okay. All right. Okay. But no, it's gonna be a great one. A lot of that's when the biggest viewership is gonna happen during the halftime show, and then afterwards viewership is gonna drop.
Yeah.
Third quarter, it's gonna be fairly boring. There's gonna be some you're gonna have a couple of field goals and so on and so forth. There're gonna be some defensive stops, some penalties that are kind of egregious, and then afterwards the fourth quarter comes, and that's when the climax arrives. 49ers, they're feeling themselves. They're playing not to lose. Patrick Mahomes comes back with a vengeance. He has the fire in his eyes. Travis Kelce knows that he's about to put a ring on Taylor Swift right at the end. He's balling out. Right, Isaiah is balling out. You got Rice actually scoring a couple of touchdowns. And then afterwards, it comes down to the wire where there's going to be the 2-minute warning. It's going to be tied up. And then finally, he throws it to Isaiah Pacheco, runs it in, and then all they have to do is take a knee. And the Kansas City Chiefs will be Super Bowl champions once again.
Down the Marco. Down the Marco.
I just freestyled that whole thing right now.
Yeah. You belong to me.
Oh man, 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. Do you agree with Ugo? Do you agree with me? Do you agree otherwise? Call in to check in. Let us know what you think.
If he proposes to Taylor Swift on the podium, I'm gonna throw up through my nose. I'm not watching the game to begin with, but if my phone blows up and I see all over Twitter or Twix or whatever, like memes and freaking video of him holding the trophy, is like, Pat, can you hold this real quick?
You and the entire nation of Fox News is gonna be throwing up.
Oh my God.
Emotional damage.
Someone in the locker room is gonna be playing Shake It Off. Someone. It's either going to be the 49ers with their big-ass boombox, or it's going to be Kansas City. She might perform at halftime. Who knows?
Oh, my God. Please don't. Please don't. No. Please don't.
No, this is what the league wants. Do you know this?
I don't want it.
I don't want this. But this is what the NFL wants.
But why?
Money. The NFL made something crazy like in viewership and ad revenue and sponsorship alone, just off of the Taylor Swift face and brand, an extra, as if they didn't have enough money in the world, an extra $300.
What do people with money want? They want more
money. An extra $330 million. Like that is mind-boggling off just her just showing up to games. She's not even like showing up in commercials. She's not like wearing Kelsey's jersey on stage. This is her just showing up. An extra almost $500 million just from her showing up.
Do you even think that the NFL set them up together? Maybe they matched them up on Tinder or something, and then they're together now?
It's all scripted. It's all rigged. So, yeah. Hell yeah. Yes. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh, my God.
Why not?
The NFL is the new Skynet. That's what they're doing right now.
Skynet 1. Skynet 1. Shout out to Punk, though. Again, he got injured. He lost the Royal Rumble. Tore his triceps. But I still love you, dog.
Now, obviously, I'm not a wrestling guy. Maybe I might get into it thanks to Bailey. But I've been reading a lot of things going on in the wrestling world. Like, what's this thing going on with there's something that's trending on Twix that we want Cody.
Well, Cody Reigns won the Royal Rumble for the second straight years. Round of applause for Cody.
Now, is he a babyface or a heel?
He's a babyface.
Okay.
Oh, big time babyface.
All right, I'm just asking, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying for our viewers.
Okay,
right?
all right.
For you. His dad is the legendary Dusty Rhodes, who passed away a couple years ago.
I heard of the name.
Yeah. And it's set up for him to quote unquote finish the story. He's never been world champion in the WWE. He's never been. And his dad was never champion. Actually, his dad was for like 10 seconds, but then there was like a reverse decision or something against Ric Flair or somebody back in the day, like at Madison Square Garden, and he was stripped of the title the day, literally moments after winning it. But there's a picture of him holding the title that he's like, listen, I want to win the title and, right that wrong and win it for my family. So finishing the story. Hashtag finish the story. That's been trending since last year. So last year he won the Royal Rumble, lost in the championship against Roman Reigns, and was cheated because that's how Roman Reigns always wins. He cheats. That's kind of his thing. That's what the heel does. So he wins the Royal Rumble again, and everybody was like, okay, so it's going to be Roman versus Cody 2. Out of nowhere last night, well, not out of nowhere because everybody kind of saw it coming.
Okay.
The Rock shows up. The Rock came back to SmackDown yesterday.
You want to talk about scripts?
Yeah, he was talking about scripts. Yeah, he's the highest paid actor in the world.
Yeah.
Again, he makes more than Robert Downey Jr. and Leo DiCaprio per movie.
Oof.
It's The Rock.
Difference is those guys are talented. Now, nothing against The Rock. He's just charismatic.
Listen,
that's all it is.
If making money's a talent, that's all the talent matters.
Yeah. When he talks some BS walks, I get it.
Just saying. So The Rock shows up. There was a moment before The Rock did his famous stare down. He didn't even say a word. he goes up to Cody, they shake hands, and basically Cody gives up his spot at WrestleMania to fight Roman. He gives it to The Rock. There's a handful of people that are mad. They're just like, oh man, like no, we don't want this. We want Cody. We want Cody to finish the story. And there's the other half that's part of me. That's just like, yo, I want the biggest main event. I don't care who it is. Like if the biggest draw is The Rock, yeah, let's do it. I mean, is The Rock like a full-time wrestler anymore? No. He's gonna go back to making movies. He's probably shooting a movie now, for all we know.
Shooting 12 at the moment.
Exactly. Like Cody is going to win the title at some point. Like it's just long-term storytelling. Like he didn't win it last year. He's not going to win it this year. He'll win it at some point.
So basically,
you know what I mean?
like you mentioned about Leo DiCaprio, it took Leo DiCaprio 6 times to get nominated before he won the Oscar.
Exactly.
So that's basically what's going on here.
And with that being said, in the same light, in the same vein, CM Punk has never main evented WrestleMania. Believe it or not, like one of the greatest champions of all time has never main evented WrestleMania. A lot of that was because of Vince McMahon and politics. We know about that trash bag. We buried him last week.
Believe me, off camera, I got to tell you something about somebody that actually completely 100% disagrees with you, but we'll do that off camera.
That's fine. That's fine. Clowns can be clowns. What I'm saying is, so there are multiple stories that need to be finished. Like, CM Punk fans all around the world, we want to see this guy main event WrestleMania. He's been champion, but we want to see him win the big one in the main event.
Is he a babyface also?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
Right now,
so he was a heel at one point.
He was a heel. He was when he was a champion before he quit and walked out at WWE. He was a heel champion, but he was so over and so beloved. He was like a heel / babyface champion. They were booing him, and ironically enough, when he lost his title and ended his reign, it was against The Rock at Royal Rumble. So this is kind of like, again, history repeating. Saw this movie before. The WWE, it's still a business at the end of the day. They want the biggest money draw. And if the biggest money draw is not one of their full-time guys, if it's a part-time guy, if it's The Rock, or if it's Hulk racist Hogan, you know what I mean, coming to whoever, or if it's Ric Flair coming from the dead, whoever is going to be the biggest draw is going to get that main event slot. And it sucks because, you know, you got these guys working year-round, house shows, SmackDown, Raw, pay-per-views, so forth and so on, and all of a sudden here comes basically the WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of wrestling. And that's the biggest payday as well. Okay, so I busted my ass all year to main event. I won the Royal Rumble. I get my shot right. No, we're gonna go with the guy who's gonna make us more money. Sorry, because it's a business. You know,
and that's where that pipe bomb came from.
And that's where the pipe bomb came from, because in CM Punk's pipe bomb, you saw it. I sent it to you.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
He talked about The Rock,
and and also John Cena.
And John Cena. Yeah. He was like, Dwayne gets to come back. Like it was. If you haven't seen the CM Punk pipe bomb and you're living under a rock, go watch that, because it's kind of on brand with what's happening now. So to that whole story, Cody doesn't get to finish the story this year. And boo-hoo, it's wrestling. He's going to finish it at some point. It doesn't really matter, bro. It doesn't. He's not leaving the company. He's not going to walk out anytime soon. They love him. And at some point, it's going to happen. It's just not going to happen this year.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, if you guys want to check out some more wrestling, check out the Ultra Heels podcast here at Bravery Studios as well. That was a little bit of tidbit right there. And we do it all here at BTV Sports, man.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. And by the way, I did kind of my research. Is CM Punk, does that mean chick magnet?
It means, yeah. Well, it does mean chick magnet. He also like has said in numerous interviews that he doesn't want to reveal what it stands for. I mean, he has like 1,000 nicknames, but I believe the origins were chick magnet Punk. Yeah,
Love it.
I believe so.
Love it.
But he's the man. He's the guy, and I'm glad he's back. Unfortunately, he's injured, but he'll be back soon.
I mean, obviously, you're wearing the
guy. He's my guy. Come on, he's the voice of the voiceless.
There you go.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Love you,
Perfect.
Punk.
That was perfect.
Love you, Phil.
862-621-9536 is the number to call in. So we have a little bit of time left, and we got some people in the check-in. We got people lining up the calls. Please call in. Now, let's also get into the NFL coaching. So here's one thing that I was wondering. So obviously, Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel didn't get head coaching jobs.
Yeah.
We thought that they were at least gonna, be into consideration. We thought Bill was going to Atlanta. And then you also have Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, who's supposed to go to the Commanders, and then he pulled out. And then now you have Dan Quinn as the head coach for the Commanders. You also have Raheem Morris and I forget who got hired at Seattle. Was it Richardson?
It was Mike McDonald.
There you go.
Yeah.
So one person that seems to be missing here is Pete Carroll. So, as everything is currently constituted, we were talking about, like, there's a chance that Mike Vrabel will go to the Jets and Bill Belichick will go to the Cowboys. Where does that leave Pete Carroll? I mean, is that it? Is he has no choice but to quit, or is he going to go back to Seattle and just be like one of the office guys?
I think he's gonna have. He has a soft landing or golden parachute, whatever the phrase is. They're going to leave him in the front office to help with player personnel and front office decisions. I don't think. Number one, I don't think he wants to coach. I mean, I think it comes.
You think he's?
Yeah, I think it comes. It's very similar to what I said last week when you asked me about Bill, especially when like more attractive positions are going to open next year. Like just foreshadowing. Yeah. It's like basically you're at a car dealership and they're just like, yeah, this car is a B+. You can get this B+ car right now. But in your mind and unequivocally, if I just go up the street, there's an A+ waiting for me. I got to save up a little bit more money, but that car's not going anywhere. Nobody's even no one's touching that. All right, and no one's touching it. It's not like an unforeseen, like, oh my God, somebody's gonna take it. Like, no, it's not going anywhere. It's not. You got to wink with the car dealership. Right. It's not going anywhere. I'll pass on a B+. I'll wait for the A+. And I think with Pete Carroll, I think he might throw his hat in and try to grab one of those bigger positions next year, or he's good. He's like, you know what? I've won a Super Bowl, should have won 2. I've won a national championship, or actually a couple national championships at USC. I'm gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like my career my legacy is set. Like I got a gold jacket waiting for me.
Right.
Like I'm good. I don't really need to do this anymore. Like, you know what? I'll just Seattle. You want to keep paying me to just show up 2 times a week and sit in on a couple meetings? Okay. Right. I'll just do that. And likewise with Bill. Again, I said this last week. There's no way you're going to convince me that Arthur Blank didn't just slide over like, listen, Bill, I want you to coach Atlanta. And Bill was like, nah. Bill, he talked to Bill like twice or 3 times.
It was 2 times, yeah.
2 times. Mm-hmm. And he was like, Bill doesn't want to coach this year. You know what? Raheem Morris, what are you doing? And just like with Washington, they were in on Bill. They were. But they got the same vibe that Atlanta got. They were just like, Bill doesn't want to coach this year. We're not even going to offer him the job. Like, yeah, we talked to him, we touched base with him, but he don't want to coach this year. You know what? Dan Quinn, let's go for it. And likewise with LA, with the Chargers.
Yeah, with Harbaugh.
If Harbaugh said no and went back to Michigan or went somewhere else, they were going to go all in for Vrabel. Like I saw that report last week, and that makes sense. And I think Vrabel would have took the job. I think that's one of the few jobs Vrabel, because Vrabel was in the same position as Bill. Vrabel's like, I don't have to force anything. I'm good. Like, I can take a year off, and then next year I can really get whatever job I want. I mean, it makes too much sense when you've got the leverage and you've got the resume and you've got the cachet and you know there's better situations out there to not settle. You know what I mean? Like McCarthy, honestly, the same thing you can say with McCarthy. Yeah, I think, did he interview for the Jets job? Did he interview with you guys?
Who?
Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, and then they hired Adam Gase.
Exactly. So I think McCarthy had the same vibe. He interviewed with them, and the Jets were just like, he doesn't want to coach here. Or he wants to take a year off.
No, actually, no, that's not what happened. So wait,
he wanted the job?
So yeah, he desperately wanted to come to the Jets.
Oh, my bad. It was front office malfeasance.
Yes, because supposedly, and this is why
that makes sense.
And this is why Woody Johnson is, well, actually Christopher Johnson, because Woody Johnson was over in the UK being the ambassador for the 45th president. I'm sorry. So Christopher Johnson was taking over duties while he was over in the UK for 4 years. So Mike McCarthy wanted the job, and even Chris Johnson said that it went extraordinary. But this is something that Woody Johnson has been guilty of doing before, where he listens to the outside noise. Because I remember years ago when they fired Rex Ryan and before they hired Todd Bowles, they were going to hire Doug. I forget his name. He was the head coach for the Bills. Like, he was actually leaving them, and then afterwards he was going to the the Jets. Then he went down to Jacksonville and became the head coach there. I forget his name. It was Doug something.
Doug Peterson?
No.
Peterson?
No, he used to be a player, but I forget his name. But,
Okay.
But anyway, this neither here nor there. So they wanted to hire him, and then there was a news report out from Manish Mehta, who is a deplorable reporter who is no longer in the business, and rightfully so. He said a scathing review about some bad things that he heard within the Buffalo Bills organization, and he heard that Woody Johnson got cold feet, and then he didn't hire him, and then he went elsewhere. Then it seems like it's going the same. It's the same thing with Christopher Johnson, where Mike McCarthy wanted to come here, but there was news reports saying that Mike McCarthy left on bad terms in Green Bay, and he's an old coach that doesn't know where the league is going now, and so on and so forth. So they got cold feet, they backed off, and they decided to hire Adam Gase simply because of two reasons. One, because he was in the division, so they figured that there would be some familiarity. Yeah. And he was 5-1 against the Jets. But you know what? If you have Todd Bowles as your head coach, 5-1 is not that bad. It's not that difficult to do.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with the whole Adam Gase debacle. But yeah, there was at one point where we were going to have Mike McCarthy. He did want to come here, but because we didn't hire him and he didn't want to go to Cleveland either, that's when he decided to take off, and then you guys got him.
Well, I mean, and the thing with McCarthy is, again, he's not a bad coach.
No. He's just like, it's just in the playoffs. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's his game prep or his play design or his scheme,
or lack
thereof. Whatever the hell he's doing in the playoffs is just it's an F. It's an F minus. It just doesn't work in the playoffs, and that's his deficiency. But again, I believe with Vrabel, I believe with Carroll to a degree, because I'm not sure Carroll even wants to coach anymore. Honestly, I don't
think he should.
I don't get that vibe from any of my sources and any of the things that I've read online from trusted writers that I follow that actually know what they're doing. Not hot take guys, real factual journalists. That's who I follow. And that's why when I come on the show, you never see me give like crazy outlandish stuff that doesn't happen.
No, but we thank them anyway because they give us a great segment.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I will say to that is, I believe Bill and Mike, they'll be coaching next year. And
I agree.
And very likely it'll be for our teams, respectively.
Put it out there in existence, you know.
Manifest it. And
Yep.
it'll be.
Yeah.
It will be.
Shout out to The Secret. Now, with the other coaching hires that kind of went under the radar, like, so I'm looking at, you obviously had Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, and then you also have Raheem Morris with the Falcons, and Antonio Pierce is staying with the Raiders, which I think is a good move, and then obviously Dan Quinn with the Commanders.
What a disaster!
But there's some other ones that were under the radar. You got Brian Callahan, who went to the Titans, and then you also have David Canales, who is now the head coach for the Panthers. I don't know how that's going to go along. And then a lot of people thought that this is a pretty good hire with Mike McDonald for the Seahawks. The only problem is that, Seattle's defense is stout. But you also have Geno Smith, who's actually become like a much better quarterback as he's gone on. Why wouldn't you want to hire an offensive coordinator or an offensive mind for a head coach to actually develop Geno more or put him in a better position to win? Because I feel like if he's coached correctly, it'll almost be like Kyle Shanahan, where it's almost plug and play, or you tailor the system around him, which is what Baltimore did with Lamar Jackson. So the only question mark that I have is, obviously Mike McDonald proved that he's worth his defensive mind, but what about, like, you have to cover both sides of the ball? I mean, this is one of the biggest knocks on Robert Saleh, where he has the number one ranked defense and he has a defensive mind, but the offense is just lacking. I'm not saying that the Seahawks offense is going to be as bad as the Jets. I don't think it can get any worse than that. But I just feel like what's the meaning behind it?
Well, I know that McDonald specializes in stopping the Kyle Shanahan tree.
Okay,
that's why he got the job. Because you're in a division with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. You got to play them twice a year, and you got to play Jonathan Gannon twice a year. So they wanted to hire somebody whose scheme can be a remedy and have some answers for all those motions and pull blocks and funky play designs and that they got going on, orbit motion and all that stuff that they got going on with Shanahan and McVay. So it makes sense to go with McDonald in that sense. Quarterback-wise, I don't feel like Geno is the guy. I don't. I know he's.
I think he hit his
I know.
ceiling.
I know he's getting paid like the guy because that's what the market dictates. But I don't. I don't think that's going to work out long term.
I honestly feel like we've seen the best of Geno Smith, and it's not going to go any more than that. I think that's a ceiling that we've seen.
It can get you a wild card. That's about it.
At the very
minimum, it can get you 9, maybe 10 wins. That's it. But it's like a diamond getting shown in the light. It's a cubic zirconium. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of carats there. You know what I mean? So he's Jet Geno way too often for me against good teams. And both times he played San Francisco, he was Jet Geno. I mean, well, the second time he was hurt, but the first time on Thanksgiving, Jet Geno. You know what I mean? He'll show up and be brilliant like he did against the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. He'll show you flashes, but when push comes to shove and they go against elite teams with elite quarterbacks, he's not that guy. You know what I mean? So, and they're paying him now. So until McDonald gets himself his guy at quarterback, they'll be a fringe playoff team. I don't really see him moving the needle to making Seattle one of the top 4 teams in the NFC coming out next year. They're not. They're still a fringe team in between 6 to 8 or 6 to 9. That's where they are right now.
No. And I'm also interested to see what happens with Dan Canales because, listen, the Panthers already gone through a disaster with Matt Rule, and then they had an even bigger disaster with Frank Reich. And now they have basically a newbie, like somebody that's not really well known in the circles, but he did some good things with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and so on and so forth. But that's one thing that I'm interested in looking at. And the quarterback situation is still a mess over there in Carolina.
Well, Carolina's in the situation Houston was in last year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're an expansion team right now.
Yeah.
In terms of talent, in terms of the quarterback right now, there's a lot of question marks against if they took the right guy. I don't think they did. And I had my question marks coming in because you know how I feel about Alabama quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Like, nothing's changed from that, and nothing is going to change from that. Alabama quarterbacks are going to put up some really nice numbers when you surround them with talent. But when they play top-tier defenses and top-tier coaches that can dissect and break them down from top to bottom, you get Mac Jones, you get Tua, and you get Jalen Hurts. They're not as good as you think they are. They're competent, or they can be competent.
They can be.
You know what I mean? They can show flashes of it, and they can put up numbers from time to time. But
I mean, Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler his rookie year, and then fell off the face of the earth.
Jalen Hurts is in his second Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? But how did he look this year? And how did he look toward that in spots last year? You know what I mean? It is very, very possible that you will see the best of Jalen, or you've seen the best of Jalen Hurts, and you've seen the best of Tua already. Mm-hmm. They have not. I'm going to say this 10 toes down. They are not going to take the next rung in the tier ladder because Alabama quarterbacks don't do that. Name me another great Alabama quarterback not named Joe Namath. I'll wait.
Right.
I'll wait. I swear to God, I'll wait. Greg McElroy, AJ McCarron. Can I interest
McElroy.
you? Yeah. Can I? Like we can keep going.
Yeah.
All right. So it just doesn't. Their game doesn't translate to the NFL. Mm-hmm. And Bryce Young. Again, this is what Carolina's going to do. They're going to go. Well, they can't do it this year because they don't have a first round pick.
No, they don't have it. Shout out to Chicago for that one. They get a Caleb Williams probably.
Exactly. Next year, when they have a first round pick and they can begin to make trades and put horses around him, he's going to put up some nice numbers. But watch when they play Dallas. Watch when they play San Francisco. Watch when they play top tier teams in the NFC. You're going to be like, wow, Young put up a lot of nice stats against so and so and so and so. Why does he suck against these defenses? And
I'm already predicting they're going to be last in the division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a first round pick, and you're already the worst team in the league now.
Right.
They're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot. I don't envy them. I've been there. It's
so,
not fun.
It's so funny how they have their quarterback going into his sophomore season, and they're already still in tank mode.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's as Joe Girardi would say, it's not what you want.
Yeah, it's less than ideal.
Yeah. Now the other one, it hasn't been really under the radar, but it hasn't got talked about much, is Jerome Mayo to the Patriots. Now, how much pressure do you think that Mayo has on him? Because not only is it, Robert Kraft is getting older and he's getting up there in age and he wants to win and so on and so forth, but he's following arguably the greatest head coach in NFL history.
Yeah.
You're following in his footsteps now. Now you've been in his team, you've been on his staff for several years now, and you used to play for them, and you were a great player for the Patriots for a long time. But head coaching is a different animal. You know, I'm a great podcaster, but I don't know if I could be a great engineer. You know, it's a totally different thing.
Right.
So, or a business owner like Marv. So, with that being said. Like, how much pressure do you think it has on Jerod Mayo? Maybe not in his rookie year because they're in rebuild mode right now. They're not moving forward with Mac Jones. He's not the answer, obviously. They have to start over from scratch. But added to that, you know, rebuilding mode and phase and so on and so forth. But also with the added pressure of following, you know, Bill Belichick's vacant seat. How do you feel that fares out for Mayo?
They don't have a quarterback. You know, so the conversation starts there. I think the clock starts on him, starts ticking when they identify the quarterback. Because they're gonna attach the quarterback with the GM and with the head coach. That's how it works. Unless it's in Dallas when he's got autonomy and he's not gonna fire himself. You know what I mean? So I think they've got to find their quarterback in this draft class. They have to. If they identify one of these guys, Bo Nix or Penix or Daniels, or if they make a surprise trade and they go up and they get Caleb Williams or Drake May, whoever, they've got to get their quarterback. Once they get their quarterback,
they're picking number 3.
They're picking number 3, so they're going to have their pick of it outside of Caleb, or they might trade up. Who knows? Because I'm hearing reports that Caleb doesn't want to go to the Bears, and he's going to do everything in his power to pull an Eli and be if you draft me, you better trade me when you draft me.
So does that mean that there's a possibility that Caleb Williams would go to where I mentioned earlier, where you vehemently disagreed with me, where he would go to the Commanders since they're picking number 2?
I don't know, man. That's going to be interesting. It's hard for me to answer that because the Eli thing part of that was the NFL and it was scripted.
Yeah. You can't convince me otherwise.
Can't convince me otherwise. Like, golly. Like, honest to God, if I have a guy who doesn't want to play for me, I am not going to trade him to where he wants to go.
Exactly.
What the hell, really?
That's why the Chargers are one of those. They're one of those franchises that they never get it right.
Exactly. I'm gonna trade him to Siberia. Like I'm gonna be petty. Like, oh, you want to go there? Mm-hmm. Guess where you're not going.
You know that kind of reminds me of like when the whole Jamal Adams debacle.
Yeah. Oh,
I remember that. And Michael McKay made a great point. This is something that I would have done. See, if Jamal Adams said that I want to be traded, I don't want to be here anymore. I would be the GM and be like, well, you're under contract, so you could play or you not play, but you're staying here. You're not going anywhere until you're a free agent.
Facts.
I don't know why more, not just NFL, but more sports teams do that. You know,
Al Davis used to do that. Big facts there. Shout out to Al. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I wish more teams do that because I feel like we wouldn't be in the state now where it seems like the players are running the leagues. You know, as I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but it's almost like letting the prisoners run the prison.
Yeah, I mean, the former owner of the Texans.
That's right. I forgot he said that. Yeah.
The inmates run the asylum. I think that would be more apt.
I think you should give me a clown of the week for that statement right now.
It's okay. It's okay. but no, until I don't know what the hell's gonna happen with Caleb Williams, and if he doesn't want to go to Chicago, I don't blame him because that's another dumpster fire of an organization. Like they don't know what they're doing.
Do I really want to play for Matt Eberflus? Ugh.
But with that being said, do you really want to go to Washington and?
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
I mean, listen.
You sure about that?
At least Dan Quinn has a better track record and actually made it to a Super Bowl as opposed to Matt Eberflus.
I think the coach there, Dan Quinn is going to install a great culture there. Now, is it going to be enough to win a championship or compete for a championship? We'll see. We'll see because they are devoid of talent in a lot of areas, mainly at quarterback.
Yeah, and I don't want to vehemently say no or be cheeky about it because they do have new ownership now. Dan Snyder's no longer there. Thank
exactly.
God. So we'll see how it plays out.
And we've seen Dan Quinn do this before. He took a team to the Super Bowl. He took Atlanta to the Super Bowl. That whole brotherhood. That was his tagline. His whole deal, and it worked. It worked. Outside of blowing the lead in the Super Bowl, it worked. It worked. So, I don't know where Caleb's going to go. And with New England, again, the clock doesn't start for Mayo and his tenure until they draft their quarterback, and they should draft it this year.
Right. Now, I'm also looking here that the New York Giants are picking 6 and the New York Jets are picking 10. You've actually said that Matt Eberflus is the best quarterback in the NFL. You've actually said that Matt Eberflus is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I'm also looking here that the New York Giants are picking 6 and the New York Jets are picking 10. You've actually said that even though we have Rodgers, we have to get a quarterback in the first round.
Yes.
Or at least an offensive lineman, but mainly
Yes.
as quarterback.
Yes.
Would you but who's going to be available at number 10?
I don't know. I think you guys are in a I don't envy your position. You guys are in.
No,
I think you would love to switch spots with me.
Right. I feel
In a
comfortable.
heartbeat.
I feel comfortable that the New York Giants are going to pick a quarterback because they're picking number 6, and Daniel Jones is clearly not the answer. But even if they want to keep him, they'll probably have whoever they draft redshirt like they did with Patrick Mahomes.
I don't see. This is where
If he can stay healthy.
This is where I disagree. And I had the same dispute with Carlos, your boy, Mr. Financial, as well as D Sizzle, Dez.
Okay.
Same dispute. Their owner still makes football decisions.
That's true. Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that.
And their
Mr.
owner,
John Mara.
Yeah, and Mr. Mara he believes that Daniel Pennies is going to win a Super Bowl with them. And their owner...
You sure about that?
Exactly. Their owner put a mandate out to their GM to say that their week 1 starter is going to be Daniel Jones. So that lets me know, come draft time, they're not drafting a quarterback in the first round, in the second round. They're not going to take one at all. If anything, they'll bring back Tyrod to be a backup, or they'll sign somebody Jacoby Brissett-esque to be the backup. But they want to exhaust their capital draft-wise and resources to building around Daniel Jones, which is a mistake because the first thing they're going to do is lose Saquon Barkley. That's the first thing they're going to do.
Yes.
And the second that happens, they're already going to take 2 steps back because there's nobody in this draft class that is even in the same stratosphere as Saquon. And the only running back available that's even remotely around where he is Derrick Henry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry and maybe Jacobs, but Jacobs has an injury history.
Yeah, I would go more Henry than Jacobs.
But I would go more. I would go more Henry. I'm just naming names.
I get you.
So what I'm saying is, they are not going to take a quarterback. You guys should probably take one, but you guys are more than likely you guys are going to take an offensive lineman because this is a very
We need them.
This is a very offensive line heavy class. Like honestly, there could be as many as somewhere crazy, like 7 to 10 that are taken in the first round alone of offensive linemen. There's a lot. And Lord knows Dallas needs some. We need probably 2, to be honest with you, because I'll take a center, I'll take a left tackle, I'll take a right, whatever, not a right guard, because we still got Zach Martin, but I'll take 2 of them. And so what you guys need to do, take one, like I said weeks ago, take one, move back up, just like Houston, and take another.
Yeah, and please, I've been hearing some rumors around there that they might be interested in Brock Bowers. Please, we don't need another tight end. I'm good.
Almost spit my water out.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost coming to the close of this episode. So let's do it. Cue the music, Marv. Hey. All right. Now, this segment of Clown of the Week is brought to you by the First Class Second Place Podcast, Ugo Boy, Bravery Studios, and let's not forget our sponsor at Pretty Tea and Tings. Go put in your Super Bowl orders right now. Spots are filling up. Hit her up on Instagram at Pretty Tea and Tings. That is PrettyTeeNDTINGSC. And also has Cash App and Zelle possible and available.
The link will be in the bio, as well as Things Galore.
Absolutely, yes. And New York Posse. Shout out to New York Posse and Kyrie Williams.
Yes.
All right, so do you want to start off this Clown of the Week segment?
You can kick things
All
off.
right.
Wait. He's been waiting all week for Clown of the Week.
There we go. Now, first and foremost, before I get into my Clown of the Week, it's going to segue into it. I want to give a huge shout out to Jalen Brunson because Jalen Brunson is now officially the biggest and most popular star in sports as far as New York is concerned.
Round of applause.
We needed a star like this for a long time, and we're enjoying this win streak with the New York Knicks.
First since Melo.
Yes. 9-game win streak. We lost Julius Randle. He's going to be back in a couple weeks, but we're still winning in spite of him, and everything is looking lovely. I'm loving what the Knicks are doing right now. They're a threat to be had, but of course, you have to have some clowns that come with it. And who is one of the biggest clowns who is a diehard New York Knicks fan? He's been a favorite of your Clown of the Week segment before.
Is he on Mount Clownmore?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it Stephen A?
Oh, yes! Stephen A. Smith, come on down. You are Clown of the Week. Listen, I understand. We all know that you're a huge Knick fan just like the rest of us. But your clownish behavior on ESPN, on your platform, talking about how much you love the Knicks, how much you hate the Knicks. It is all performative. We don't believe you. And then you actually go ahead and say that one thing that'll take over the Knicks over the top to win the championship is actually trade for LeBron James? Oh my God. What are you doing? Stop it. We don't believe the minstrel show. Stop being such a puppet to these guys. We don't even believe you. Stop being a clown. I am sick of it. Stephen A. Smith, congratulations. You clowned yourself.
Berkey. It's okay, man. It's
All
okay.
right.
It's okay. Wow, hard to follow that one up.
He loves your he loves your Cowboys too with his clowners.
Of course. He's not. Don't worry. He's been rejected. He's not a part of.
Oh my God!
Cowboy Nation.
I want
He's
him
not.
excommunicated from Knicks Nation, please. Can we do that? Can we get him excommunicated and let him go to Pittsburgh because he's also supposedly a Steelers fan? Well, we know that he's really a Cowboys fan.
He's got like 5 teams he roots for. Roots for the Eagles. Roots for the Jets.
Roots for the Miami
Giants.
Heat. I'm a native New Yorker, so you know I love my New York Giants.
But I love me some Miami. I love me some South Beach.
You know LeBron James, he's a bad man. I love the Jets because they got Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man. Clown, get out of here with that nonsense.
He's a clown, just like it's my turn. It's my turn. Mickey Mouse over there at Fox Sports. But no, my clown of the week. My clown of the week is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, the owner,
Mr. All In.
Yes,
Mr. All In.
Mr. All In himself. Yeah. Listen, man, you're not gonna sell me a timeshare in San Diego, bro. Not happening, dog. Like it's
a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog. I'll believe it when I see it. Cowboy Nation, like I said it earlier, and keep that same energy. You're not gonna sit up there and try to convince me that you're going to do what you have not done for decades, is put together the necessary pieces holistically from the draft all the way to coaching to give us a championship. Now, if you do it, that'll be great. I'll be happy. I'll be through the roof. But I don't see it happening. So he gets it, as well as all of national media, all of Fox Sports, all the Clown Take shows. Because Lamar Jackson, last time I checked, is he 2-4 in the playoffs? And Dak Prescott is 2-5 in the playoffs. Where's that? I should have put it on Keep That Same Energy, but I'm gonna put that and keep that same clown.
No, we've been
energy.
keeping that same energy all episode. So
Exactly. Yeah. So Dak Prescott is the worst thing since stale bread. Allegedly.
Since cigarettes.
Because he should be in truth commercials. Because he's 2-5. But Lamar Jackson is 2-4. All right. So I want to see all these clowns. I want to see Stephen A. I want to see Dan O. I want to see Shannon. I want to see Chris Broussard. I want to see Kevin Wildes. I want to see all the Colin Clownherd. Everybody on Mount Clownmore. I want to see you clowns drag Lamar Jackson through the streets, just like you drag Dak Prescott. They're still dragging Dak Prescott. They're still dragging him. Cowboys haven't played a game in like a month. They're still dragging him. When do you see Stephen A. Smith? When's Dak Prescott gonna get it done?
Shady McCoy
too. When's he gonna get it done? When's he gonna get it done? Is he gonna get an extension? When's he gonna get it done? We're not playing. We're not playing. It's the 49ers against the Chiefs. That's the Super Bowl. We didn't play in this round. We didn't play in the last round. We didn't play in the round before. We're not playing. You clowns, leave Dak alone. Jerry Jones, stop making empty promises. The whole lot of you, congratulations. All you bums, all you bozos, big red nose, big green hair, big red shoes. You're all clowns. Congratulations, you clowned yourselves.
I said, leave me alone. I'm tired of you messing with me. Stop it.
In 4K.
In 4K. Oh man, we brought that same energy to Clown of the Week
Yes,
segment.
we
Yes,
did,
all
we
right.
did.
And before we go, we just have everybody's other favorite segment. Cue them. Jerry is a fire. I'm running in slow motion right now.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'll kick it off.
All right.
I got 2 of them.
Okay.
My 2 heroes.
I wonder if one of them is going to be in Simpatico with us.
It might be.
It might be,
We'll
yeah.
see. My first hero of the week, Bailey. Give me 10
Hey!
Bailey Yahtzees. 10 Bailey Yahtzees. Yes. She won the Women's Royal Rumble. She'll be taking on Io Sky, the great Io Sky, at probably night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania in Philly. Bailey, you're absolutely gorgeous. You're one of the best wrestlers, not female wrestlers, wrestlers.
Period.
Period. With the T at the end, as the kids say these days. You're one of the best wrestlers on the planet. You have deserved your flowers for quite some time. She tore her ACL, and she actually missed a lot of time over the past few years. But she carried the company. During the pandemic, when they were doing empty arenas, she did some of her best work. So she deserves this. She's gonna win. She's a champion in my eyes, a champion in our hearts. Love you, Bailey. So she gets the first hero of the week. The other hero of the week, my guy, CM Punk.
Oh,
CM Punk, the best in the world. I'm wearing the man's hoodie. He tore his triceps, unfortunately. He's gonna be out, I think, 4 to 6 months. He's gonna be out for a while. But not only did he finish the Royal Rumble with a torn tricep, but he has been absolutely box office in terms of the promos, his attitude. He's turned over a new leaf. He's not a cancer in the locker room anymore. He's not angry and bitter at the world. He's not like ruffling feathers and knocking over juice boxes. He's not doing the stuff that he was doing in his prior tenure with the company when he was very toxic. But then he had a lot of toxic things going on in his life, in his world. But he's grown up, he's matured, and again, I can't wait for him to finish his story and main event WrestleMania probably next year and win another world championship. So Bailey, Punk, love you guys. You guys are the best.
Yeah. All right. Now, I wouldn't say necessarily this is a hero of the week, but this is just a hero, period. And unfortunately, this is a icon that we lost too soon this past week. Shout out to Carl Weathers.
Yes,
that is a hero in general. Yes.
Yeah.
This is an icon. This is a guy that has been in our hearts for many decades, and he has continued to entertain us and bring us nothing but great things through the world of entertainment. Whether it's playing Apollo Creed, playing Dylan and Predator, playing Chubbs and Happy Gilmore, to other numerous countless things that I can't even think of right now. This is Action Jackson, yes. Thank you very much.
I'm watching that tonight.
We should watch that, actually.
We should. We absolutely should.
Yeah, but my heart goes out to the entire family of Carl. Thank you so much for all the great memories, and thank you for being one of the many reasons why we love entertainment and films and sports and so on and so forth. Rest in peace to Carl Weathers. And shout out to Stallone also.
Yes, Sly Stallone, he announced on Twitter, gave him his flowers.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Threw a dove to the sky.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, keep punching.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another episode of BTV Sports, live from Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Let's go. I am Jason Enrique on all social media platforms. You got too many social media platforms.
All of them. It's actually really easy. UgoBoy88 on all platforms, as well as UgoBoy Media. UgoBoy Media on all platforms.
Yeah.
Remember, 2 channels, UgoBoy88 and UgoBoy Media. Again, new episodes of the pod are dropping rapidly. We got a new one dropping next week, as a matter of fact. And and more sports talk coming with Mongo. We're going to wrap up the season. We're either going to do one right before the Super Bowl this week or after the Super Bowl. I'm going to New Orleans for my birthday, so it's probably going to more than likely going to be afterwards after I get back. So new episodes on the way. Keep an eye out.
All right, I'm not jealous. You're jealous.
Nola.
Go, boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Please follow and like and subscribe on YouTube at Bravely TV. Shout out to Mar Behind the Glass. Shout out to everybody at Bravery Studios. And also, in the words of Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you to Pretty T Things. We are out.
Peace.
Don't do that here.
And Mark, take us home. Take us home with a Ric Flair. Yes.
Or don't like it, learn to love it, because it is the best thing going today.
Yahtzee.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say who's on the beat, cause you should know that by now. Check it. Hey yo, music's on my mind, like my 5950, I ain't lying. Check it. Yo, this ain't a fitted song, this a get with it song.